Okay, YouTube is live. We are now live on YouTube. And next, but not least, we're going to go to TikTok. Okay. All right, let's see how this goes. Hopefully it doesn't go too far off the edge. It doesn't jump off the cliff at this point. So I'm going to upload over here. Okay, go to here, and we will turn on this. All right, cool. Okay. I don't know why they need a camera, but that's the weirdest part. Okay, so let me put that there. Go back here. Boop. And then about here. All right. No, not traditional drawing, but oh, whatever. It's just traditional drawing. Oh, well, whatever. This one, bitty, mistakey, wakey, whatever. Okay, so that's taken care of. Now, the last and final thing I need to do is turn on... What was that noise? I don't know what that was. All right. Hello, everyone. We are here today. I want to make sure before I start our today's reaction, I want to make sure everything is working properly. Hopefully. So I'm going to turn this on. That can stay. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay, that's turned on. Oh, TikTok needs to be turned on. Now, let me see. I'll just put on my followers. Okay. Click that. There we go. And now we are on. All right. I hope you guys can be able to hear everything that's going on. All right. So today we are going to be doing some reactions today. We only have 6. 3 of them will be about art, and 3 of them will be about anime recommendations. So nothing too controversial per se. So don't look for anything that's insane. While I do some artwork, and you guys can watch as I'm doing this. For those on TikTok, on Twitch, you may not be able to see it, but people on TikTok and YouTube are able to see it. See my artwork. But you can also see the little box next to me. This is our reaction box. We're going to use this to react to whatever the hell we're watching to do what we need to do. So, yeah. Alright, so let me see. This is more for me. I'm going to save this later.
Corinne Bonnelly said hi.
Hello. Okay, so this is important. Alright, so this is Clownfish TV. I'm going to probably put this on the art channel because this is more art focused. I'm not sure yet. Maybe on the other one. I'll figure it out. But this is Clownfish TV, for those who don't know. They're a mom and pop channel who talks about pop culture stuff that's going on, like animation, movies, and all that stuff.
Has correctly
for those
joined the channel.
Don't know who that is or what that is at all. So, yeah.
Katia Alivas said cool. Corinne Bonnelly said okay.
So, we're going to play this, and this particular subject is the Ghibli AI art meme backlash is insane. So what this is about, since the whole Ghibli AI thing has popped off, it's causing a lot of problems, maybe for the studio itself. So let's see.
Hello and welcome back to Clownfish TV. It is me, Geeky Sparkles, and today you're mostly going to just get me for videos because Neon is busy elsewhere. Today we're going to talk about the Studio Ghibli fiasco with the AI. So if you've been on the internet, you've probably seen the recent trend of everybody using the Chat GPT to turn around and make things look like they're, you know, Studio Ghibli. They're trying to make themselves look like it. They're making movies, you know, and things like clips from movies. What was one with The Shining and stuff, and if it was done in AI and stuff like that. Well, it's not going over well, and now they're basically telling people to stop doing it. Miyazaki's AI nightmare, according to The Atlantic. So we're going to talk about that. Before we get into it any further, please like and subscribe. If you do, you'll get a woohoo, woohoo. And we're going to talk about this. Now, previously, it's been widely known that Miyazaki is not a fan of AI. And it goes back to, I don't know, like 9 years ago or so, where they were doing a motion capture AI scenario with a person pretending to be like a zombie and they were contorting and stuff. And he, famously talked about a friend of his who's disabled, and he felt that it was kind of disrespectful to those who are disabled to do that. And he said, other times that he is just really anti-AI, doesn't feel like it should be used in animation or creation. Workers, jobs aside, it's fake and everything else. He's very publicly been anti-AI, as have a lot of other people who are in animation and different jobs, because as we talked about with the voice actors and stuff, they're getting replaced. And it's possible in the future that without AI protections, more and more people will be replaced. And we're like, Neon and I are a little divided on it. He thinks it's great for a tool. He doesn't believe people should be replaced, but he thinks it's great as a tool. But he understands and says that the unfortunate side effect is that you're going to replace
Pixar
people.
said, I am from
I'm
Azerbaijan,
a little bit
so it is
more
nice
leery
not to
of
meet
it.
Americans.
And I think it's a tool also, but I think it's going to be misused and overused. And I worry about the product if you take the people out of the product. That aside, we're going to talk about this Miyazaki thing. So recently, and I don't know if it's because of his public comments, people started doing it because they recently resurfaced about his comments. But now there's this trend that people are using ChatGPT to create Studio Ghibli avatars and different things. So now everybody's talking about it. Here, The Atlantic, Miyazaki's AI nightmare, Rolling Stone, Miyazaki fans sure are pissed about ChatGPT Studio Ghibli AI slop. Stop sharing the Ghibli AI slop.
bro.
What's wrong with you? And so on. We'll look at some of this here. Rolling Stone, the revered Japanese animator and filmmaker, has previously criticized the kind of technology people are now using to imitate his style. Yes, it's highly ironic. I do have to wonder if initially it wasn't done as a, we'll show you type situation, but it's picked up.
This is just going to cause a giant issue in the sense of, like, this is just going to be a giant copyrighted issue. It's going to get to a point where I think even art styles might get copyrighted to a degree. Because this is going to get really frustrating. I don't think you can copyright an art style, but, like, it might get to that degree, because if it's too noticeable to a point where when something looks super similar to someone else's style, like way too similar, like almost like a 1-for-1, I think that's what's going to happen in the future. So this is the only way to stop this in that sense, right? Because this is not just an art problem. This is a brand problem, because we can make brands, or we can make a bunch of like AI, I guess, images of like Mickey Mouse, Pepsi, Wendy's, Burger King, McDonald's, what's that? The Monopoly guy, the peanut guy, the peanut, top hat thing, like every cereal brand that you can probably think of. Like, it's going to get to a point where these brands are going to be like, you know what, you're using too much of our IP for you to be doing the things you're doing. I'm pretty sure Nintendo's kind of like on this to a certain degree now, because like, how Nintendo can be very like protective of their IP, and they're very protective of their IP. They don't play games. So I believe to a degree that if this becomes too much of a problem, even for companies to, withstand, there's going to be some changes that's going to come on a federal level to stop this to a degree, where AI companies cannot use, or are going to be forced to not allow the people use brand names or IP names or IP like lookalikes to certain things, where the idea of transformative stuff might get altered in the long run because it's going to cause too much trouble. So I heard that they also need special permission to use them, to, especially if characters are licensed or whatever it's called. So if the AI switches it up, I'll be mad too. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I think there's going to be some serious like legal problems, because if it's causing the studio some issues and it starts hitting more studios in the long run, not just anime but like Western studios like Netflix or anything like that, it's gonna get bad. It's gonna get super bad. To a point where things are the term transformative might have to be changed to a degree based on its meaning, or like certain there's gonna be certain restrictions for it to happen. So
up and caught on. And they said, bitter irony, people around the world are using OpenAI's GPT-4o model to generate things in the style of Miyazaki, you know, who's behind Ghibli, known for his prize values in humanism, painstaking artistry, and sanctity of nature versus horrors of exploitative industry. That's also very true. A lot of his films deal with that. You know, they have underlying, you know, themes of nature versus industry. And with AI coming, it's again putting people out of work. It would be considered industry. So yeah, he's even doubly probably not liking this. And he nor Studio Ghibli has publicly commented on the trend, even though the company did not immediately return a request for comment. Fans are in uproar. So they said it's been 24 hours since OpenAI unexpectedly shook the AI image world with their generator. Tech newsletter columnist on X said. They're talking about how ChatGPT had to pay for it or whatever. They said Studio Ghibli style memes, that's to say recognizable memes such as distracted boyfriend, disaster girl, are rendered as anime like illustrations, somewhat reminiscent of Miyazaki's, you know, style, like classics like Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle, which again, I'm going to take a moment to tell you that if you have not read the Howl's Moving Castle book, it is my favorite book in the world, and it is better than the anime. I love them both, but they're both very different, and I think the book is superior to the anime. You could disagree, that's fine, but the book is really good. If you haven't read it, go read Howl's Moving Castle. I've read it so many times. It's my favorite thing, and it definitely is an inspiration for Shadowbinders. So while some were impressed, many of their responses were brutal. I saw this beautiful 4K IMAX version of Princess Mononoke last night, and then I got out and saw this shit. But they've just brought Princess Mononoke back to theaters. It's been they were doing it in different select theaters recently. Do you morons truly value art so little that you just a filter for your profile pic? Yes, because most people, to them, it's not a big deal. I love.
sorry, I was on mute. Sorry, my bad. So if you're a normie, it does not matter. It does not matter, because like most normies don't care about art like that, like artists do, or people who want to get into art but don't know how. Whether you're a beginner, you're a mid-level or high tier pro, whatever case may be. If you are a normie outside the realms of the idea of what art is and what you think art is or what you assume what it is, and you just like, oh, that's cool, and move on, just like Instagram, Lemonade, or any Pinterest, it doesn't matter. Once you're under that veil of like, I don't do art, I don't really do that stuff, not my thing, blah blah blah, but I do like it, it's kind of cool, whatever, because it has my favorite character from my favorite anime or show or movie, whatever the hell, or comic book. That's who that's for. It's for two types of people: people who really don't want to put the work in being an artist, and people who do not care. They just don't care. They do not care. They just don't care. So it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Like, getting mad at them is like getting mad at like an animal who sees like food from like if a dog saw like a hot dog on the floor, it doesn't matter where it came from. It's a hot dog to it. It's gonna eat it. It doesn't matter how it was made. It will eat it.
Some people, in their mind, it's like, I love Ghibli. I would love to make myself look like a character, and they're using it for that reason. I don't think everybody doing this has some animosity, hate boner for artists out there.
No, I don't think so.
Some people are just.
No, I don't think. No, I don't think there's no. Like, she's right. There's no anger towards people who are using the AI. I don't have no true anger towards them. Now, if you're trying to pose yourself as an artist, then that's where that problem comes in. But when you're just doing it because it's a trend, like, you honestly think kids right now who are born in this era, or like who's born a few years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, who can kind of pick up a phone now, is more technically tech savvy than we were like 10-15 years ago? They're born into this. Yeah, because the thing is like they're born into it. So since they're born into it, or they just think it's always been there, or it's just how the world is. So them making a profile pic of a Sonic OC that they just AI generated, they don't think of it of like the concept, or the real making of a character. They just see, oh, Sonic OC, I make it into whatever animal I want, and then put some Sonic type clothing or aesthetic on and call it a day, whether it's Sonic or Ghibli or whatever the hell. It could be Bleach. It doesn't matter. We've seen it thousands of times. This has been going on for like, what, 5 years now? Like, it's been like 5 years since the AI thing. Wow, it's been, oh my god, 5 years? It's been 5 years? I think about 5 years. But Jesus, like, people, the AI thing's already ingrained into everything. Ever since its fruition, every company has been using it. So, it defeats the whole purpose. So the AI art is for either normies or people who are trying to pose as artists. That's it. It's just a fact.
Using it because it's trending. Some people are using it because, you know, they love Studio Ghibli so much that they just want to incorporate it into their lives, right or wrong. I don't think everybody has some, you know, terrible agenda associated with doing this, but it's pissing off people by you using it. Pay a fucking artist and make something real, you gremlins. Okay, to be fair though, artists can be expensive, or some people don't have access to artists. I personally would do it myself, or, you know, have Neon do it, or have some other artists do it. That's my personal.
What's up, folks? Hey, Sky Masters. Dream Mystic says, yeah, people just do things themselves. Don't do things themselves anymore. Not all, but most. Yeah. It's just a fact. That's just how things are. This is going to get worse to the point that being a regular artist who actually puts in the work is going to be ridiculed for doing this. It's going to go. What's going to happen? There's going to be a weird shift effect where people who are already doing art now are making fun of people making AI art. Once it becomes way too accessible to the point that it's just such a normalized thing, if you're a traditional, a digital artist, shit, even if a tracer, even if you're doing any of that, you're going to be made fun of by the majority of morons who are using it. That's what's going to happen. You're going to get outwitted, outnumbered by the people who don't want to put in the time because it's too much work, or who doesn't really have the love to do it. And then it's going to get so overwhelming of all of them that you can't make fun of all of them or ridicule them, to the point that you're going to be outnumbered and then they're going to make fun of you. That's what's going to happen. It's going to eat itself. And then being an AI artist, it's not even an artist. It's just, you're just AI imaging. You're not even going to call yourself an artist. The word artist will be stroked out of that. It's just AI imaging at that point. That's what's going to happen. My wife is an AI. So that's pretty much what's going to happen.
Know what I would do, but it's, for a lot of people, it's just a trend right now, and it's not that big of a deal to them. I mean, I get where their people are coming from, because you're taking money away from artists who would normally be paid to draw like that. But then couldn't I argue, if you don't work for Studio Ghibli, aren't you just ripping off their style to make money? I mean, I could argue that.
Well, the only way to solve this problem, if you get serious get immediate consequence for using brand names, IPs that you don't have like any, you know, jurisdiction of in the slightest, or license to, that's the only way you can stop this. Because as soon as you're using something that is anything close to that, that's what's going to happen. But if there's no real consequence other than being ridiculed, that's not enough.
Too. I mean, I'm not taking sides here. I'm just trying to look at this logically. And if you're mad about using AI and not hiring an artist, you'd be hiring an artist to mimic somebody else's style anyway. I'm just saying.
No, not true. Not true, because artists may have their own style. you might be hiring that artist for their style, not mimicking someone else's. So that, but then again, if someone's asking to draw in a particular style, then I can get that. But I don't think most people even do that most of the time. They either do it themselves, or they use AI, or they just have someone else draw it in their own style. 9 times out of 10.
Hey, you know, you can do what you want to do. I don't think there's malicious intent here. I think intent matters. People act like this is a good thing, but all the soul has been sucked out of society. We really are at peak. Nothing really matters anymore. 10 to 1, these all people are in the animation industry and art. Hope
Hello,
Studio Ghibli
blueberries.
sues everyone involved. I don't think they're going to sue
can never use
anyone.
AI
I think
for
what
my
they can
art.
do
I
is
understand.
Disney does this, other places do this, where you can try to put you know, a lockdown on it so they can't do it. Because remember when they were all making the movie posters in the Pixar style, and they had like the 2 girls, 1 cup and all that. And
Yeah, I remember that. That was crazy. That was crazy. That was insane. We all saw that. That AI is going to drive mankind out of business before long. There won't be need for humans. Well, it's not even that. It's not. I don't think it's gonna technically drive us out of business per se. Most businesses, yes, but I don't think humans. What's gonna do? We're gonna need less humans, I believe, but we're still gonna need humans to a degree. Well, for now, till like probably 20. Well, then again, I can't say in 20 years from now, because just the other, like a few years ago, we was watching Will Smith eat spaghetti like no more than 3 years ago, and we thought that was funny. Now he's eating spaghetti more high rendered, so I can't even say 10 years from now. Maybe it's gonna be like 3, so I can't even tell you. So like, I can't even predict, because that thing is so like. It is worrying, but this is why regulation needs to be put in place, so the human aspect is still intact. Maybe not a high degree as it used to be, but it needs to be intact. But that's only if they care enough. But then again, most of the people in Congress is old as fuck, so like they're old as wood. That's why you have to ask like questions like the dude who owned like TikTok, and then ask Mark Zuckerberg very stupid questions about the internet. So by the time this even reaches, it'll be probably long way gone, because like, listen, the AI thing is going to reach Congress once it affects them directly. That's the only time. That's the only time. I'm telling you. AI is taking over. I'm scared. Well, don't be scared. I won't be scared too much about it, but then again, this is why in like, it's pointless to say this, but it also makes sense at the same time. But like in some art schools, you will have to, for you to get into art school now, you can't send like a digital aspect of like work of a portfolio you've done. You will have to literally physically send traditional drawn work out of like charcoal or like pencil, probably in pen at this point, to send your portfolio to like certain schools if you're trying to go to like an art school or university, so they can literally like, and then not only send it to them like, because they're gonna need you to record yourself doing it. Like you have to send a video recording, like a 5-hour, 6-hour, whatever long video of you start your artwork for your portfolio. So your portfolio is videos of you doing traditional work. So they have literal, and that, I don't even think that'll be good enough because AI, but like you have to send some form of proof that you are capable of doing these things because of this very problem. That's what's going to happen. But what's funny about this at the same time is that some of these schools are accepting the idea of AI in their curriculum, which it defeats the whole damn purpose of going. So it's like, what? Like, bro, like, why? It makes no sense. That's the, like, it's smart, yes. Dreamy's right. It's smart, but like that's the only way you're gonna probably get accepted now in schools in the future. You have to send traditional work of you doing artwork, recording yourself with a 4K camera on everything, right? Just to show that you're getting every stroke in. You know what I'm saying? But then again, now schools are taking art is a strong human tool for communication during tyranny. Notice how it's all turning into meaningless and empty. Government love AI. Yeah, I'm saying the only time AI is going to be regulated by Congress is when it affects them in a negative light that they have to address it. That's it. That's literally it. That's it. If it doesn't affect them, they're not gonna talk about it. They're not gonna put it on a center stage for every normie to know. Just like what they did with Zuckerberg and the dude from TikTok. They're not gonna do that. As long as the AI is not taking their information or messing with their stocks or whatever the hell, they don't care. Should.
The Pixar style, and Disney was able to, I think, put the kibosh on that one. Studio Ghibli probably could put the kibosh on people being able to use that. Like they could ask for it not to be available, but people will probably find workarounds. I know certain copyrighted characters, even if you do art of it, if you put it into AI and ask it to color it or do something else, they won't do anything with it because like I recognize these as copyrighted characters.
Yes, there you go. That's what I'm saying. That's the only way they're gonna stop this. Is because they have to build into their AI system that if they put anything that is recognized to be popular to a degree, especially like a Naruto, a Mickey Mouse, a Pikachu, Captain America, Spider-Man, a Batman, a Superman, a Link, a Zelda, a Metroid, a Yoshi, a Mario, a Crash Bandicoot, a Spyro, you know what I'm saying? Like Gon, Hizuka, Optimus Prime, any Thundercats, like anything that has any form of real fandom, they'll have to like research it first before they put it out there or put it in their algorithm. In that sense, that's the only way they're gonna stop this. So you can't just make a bunch of like AI. You can still probably make your AI. What's the right word? Your AI Naruto ninja Konoha ninja of yourself. That I don't think they can come after you for that because like it's transformed to that degree. But when you're using like a Naruto, a Sasuke, a Kakashi, and then everyone and so forth, and the pink-haired one, like, especially if it looks very close to their character, they can come for you. So like, and especially Nintendo, like I said earlier, they are very protective of their IP.
So it's a very like fine line here. They could do something if they wanted to, but at the same time, if you're not actually, you're looking at a style and not a character, it's not going to be as easily enforced. Let's put it that way. Yeah, here they talk about it. Copyright question became a pressing concern. But then they said OpenAI CEO encouraged the craze and changed his profile, picked a Ghiblified version of himself, and joked about receiving hundreds of messages from people who had sent similar images. I just don't think this is something that could be, because it's a style. It's not a character. OpenAI said in a statement that they told the Business Insider that they were able to imitate broader studio styles, but it wasn't difficult for ChatGPT enthusiasts to figure out prompts and produce Ghibli memes without using the name of the studio. Another problem is that users were able to generate Ghibli-ish images depicting 9/11, the assassination of President JFK, and domestic terrorist Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. Okay, that's totally not cool, but I'm not surprised. I mean, there's always a sect of the internet that as soon as there's something that they can do to make it outrage bait, they're gonna do it. I mean, it's not right, and I stand against using it for that kind of stuff, but I'm not surprised. That'd be the first thing I'd expect to see. They're just going on about Miyazaki and about expresses himself. There he's talking about his friend. The AI generated computer animation of a disfigured zombie character. He calmly expressed his withering contempt. Whoever creates this stuff has no idea what pain is whatsoever. I'm utterly disgusted. If you really want to make creepy stuff, you can go ahead and do it. I would never wish to incorporate this technology into my work at all. I don't think he would, given his theming. I strongly feel that this is an insult to life itself. We humans are losing faith in ourselves. And all that. That's what he said before. So that's one of the articles. Here, another one. Stop sharing the Ghibli AI slop. What's wrong with you? You do a search on Google, Ghibli AI backlash. There's all kinds of comments and stuff on here. We're going to go out to AI, and here's some of the, or to X.
Why would anyone want to even generate something that that's like asking, why would anyone want to like, I can't use that. That's too offensive. what can I use as example? Well, it's sounding offensive. Uh, hmm. Because of rage bait, let's put it that way. People like rage baiting. It brings clicks. It brings. Remember, the most negative engagements brings them. The more negative something is, the more engagement it brings. The more positive it is, it may bring a lot of engagement, but not as much as negative. It is horrible because, like, remembering, like, let's put it this way: you remember more horrible things than you do good. So 9 times out of 10, you're gonna remember things that bothered you in your past, or something that happened to you in your childhood, compared to something good. You probably might forget like 10 good things, remember 3, and then remember most of all bad things. Unless you have a very good mind of just forgetting, but then again, that's just probably trauma blocking shit out. So,
I mean, here's some of the things that they're doing. Like, yeah, there's the 9/11 one, which, yeah, yes, that's gone too far. And there's other ones on here. Yeah, there's the fire girl and the memes that you see. There's the guy that was, the from the Olympics that was shooting. And people are just using it. Oh, that's funny. The cat. And I don't see what the big deal is if you're using it for like that. You're just doing funny little things. If you're using it for your icon, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it goes a little bit worse when you're starting to do Adolf Hitler in Germany in Ghibli style. But this is funny. Ghibli's ever Muppets are now. Because you can have AI do that too, I'm sure. That's actually pretty funny. I'm
not gonna lie, the Muppet kind of goes hard. The Muppet one kind of goes hard.
Oh, here we got we got Terminator, and they have it animated to drive off. So then here's someone mad about AI scanning it. My art, yeah, not untrue. Okay, here we got the tanks. It's just and there's a bunch of other stuff in here, but yeah, people are just okay. The O.J. Simpson trial. Here they got the White House issue, the Zelensky and stuff, and AI. But it's mostly just people doing memes and stuff. I know I've seen a lot of people, like, it's just mostly memes, doing their own avatars. It's really not that big a deal to most people. That being said, I can see why a lot of people are upset about it too because of it. Again, it's just a personal preference. If you don't want to do this, don't do it. But I don't think people are necessarily... Now, the ones doing 9/11 and assassinations and crap, yes, that's being done deliberately for outrage and to be malicious. But I don't think most people are trying to be malicious with it. I think that they're just... Some people don't even realize that it can be problematic. They're just doing it because everybody else is doing it and it looks fun. At the end of the day, though, the technology's there. It's not going to go away. They're not actually saying, hey, here's the copyrighted characters. They're just saying the style of. But we saw this before with Disney and Pixar. It is very possible that Ghibli can get it taken down, can get it stopped, because Disney was able to do so. They had things locked out you couldn't even do, like, in Pixar style. So I think it's a matter of time till they say you can't do Ghibli style anymore. I just don't think you can really sue about it because you're not using copyrighted characters. It's a style. Anyway, what do you think? Did you participate in it? Did you do it? What do you think about the whole AI?
I think what's going to happen, like I said before, it's a style, yes, but it's going to get to a point where if the style is too recognizable to be considered like almost brand worthy, like you can tell when you look at Horikoshi's work, you can tell it's Horikoshi's, right, from My Hero Academia. When you see Kobo's work from Bleach, or even though he's dead now, but Akira Toriyama's, like after a while you can kind of say, oh, Akira Toriyama drew that, or that's in his style. After a while you can actually brand the style by just looking at it. It may not be a 1-for-1 or whatever, but it is close enough to say, that looks too similar to something I've seen before. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to get to a point where the style itself is going to be an intellectual property if this becomes too much of a problem where they will have to reword and fix things. That might play badly for artists, and that might play good at the same time. Because if you are an artist and you have a particular style that is very distinguished, very recognizable, that people can literally make a 1-for-1 of what that is, Oh, hi, Mike. What's gonna happen is like you can look at something and be like, okay, that looks like his style or her style, so therefore we might have to do something about that because there's too many people using it. It's not like it's a few people. You know what I'm saying? You like if it's a few hundred, that's not a big number. But when it goes up like 10, 100, 100,000 plus, that's a big problem. Because if they're selling like merch, right? And they're a business person and they have a business and they're selling that merch based on their style, not even the characters they draw, but based on the style alone, whether it's fan art or their own original characters, that's gonna be a problem. Because selling pins, selling like books, selling all that stuff is gonna go less. Or something like that. Because that's gonna cause problems in some way. Because it's not like it's a few hundred people. A few hundred people can't make a dent in your shit. If you're Ross Strauss, let's use Ross Strauss for example. If you're Ross Strauss and you're selling a bunch of like books, right? And it's particularly in your style, and a few hundred people try to imitate that style, let's be honest, at least less than half is going to at least get it right. So you don't have to worry about that, right? But if it's 100,000 plus people using it, that to the point where you can see, as I've seen a bunch of AI Ghibli stuff in the last few days, like a lot, and it's annoying, right? Whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever the platform you're on, you're seeing it somewhere, even Lemonade. So that tells you that it's not a few hundred, that's a few 100,000 plus. Especially if it's a trend, that's even more problematic because that's eating into your business. So that's going to be a problem for independent artists to a degree if they have a particular style. So like Horikoshi, he's not independent anymore because like he's, but if you're a Horikoshi type person and you have an art style that is so, and you have a fan base, that can be destroyed if someone puts it through an algorithm or AI to a degree. If they have enough images. And remember, we post most of our images pretty for free most cases on like Instagram, YouTube, TikTok and stuff. So it's not hard for them to access it, right? So that's up to like debate, I guess. If you consider that like ethical or not.
My argument, do you think it's wrong to use the AI to do Ghibli style photos if you're just using it for like a meme as a joke or your own image? Comment and let us know.
I'm just doing sketches as we do things together. All right, so that was the video for today. For that's the first video. So we're gonna go to the next one. Let me see. This one's on Kulin. We'll hold that off for a second. She's gonna talk about the same problem. This just sucks. No, I'm not doing that one. Let me see. Do you need to be Japanese to make manga? Do you need to be Japanese to make manga? How do you say that name?
Namuker.
I don't know how to say that. This is Nam. I'm not gonna say the whole name because it sounds offensive. This is Nam, and I don't know who they are. I'm not. Oh, I am subscribed to them. But it says here, do you wait. Is this in the
known as X, formerly known as Twitter?
Okay, yeah, this is Nam. I know. Do you need to be Japanese to make manga? I don't think so. I don't really think so. I think manga is more of an aesthetic style than it is like a regional thing. Does that make sense? Like it's a comic book. It's just a Japanese comic book. Like if you have Marvel, you just call it comic books, right? So like manga is just a distinguished way of saying it's Japanese made comic book. Isn't that right? I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. So like, I don't know. It's weird.
As someone that peruses through the cesspool known as X, formerly known as Twitter, I don't recommend that social media app for people that don't have a huge amount of patience or tolerance to opposing positions and opinions. My personal #1 rule is that I never respond or engage to tweets or any sort of threads. I'll post art books or some work in progresses here and there, but other than that, I don't do anything other than find artists to look at their work. But lately, there have been some huge waves in the anime/manga/art community. I know you guys have probably seen this controversy thing related to this piece of Dandadan fan art, right? Well, guess what? I'm not going to be talking about that. Instead, I'm going to be talking about this other thing. Corey X Kitchen has just announced that he is releasing a manga called Monsters We Make. Now, by the time I record this video, it's already been a couple of weeks or maybe a couple of days since he announced the release of that. But the issue is that a lot of people have been saying that this isn't a manga because it isn't made by a Japanese person and it wasn't made in Japan. Before people
That's AI is going. Wait, did I read that? Oh, I read that right. Okay.
say that I'm making up random claims that other people have said, well, here you go. And just a quick disclaimer, I personally do not have the answers or a particular strong opinion on this. I guess you could say that I'm using this video to open the discussion, so to speak. I want there to be discussions, theories, civil discourse in the comment section if at all possible. I don't want anyone calling each other names. If you guys can help it, please, let's be civil about this. Anyway, I've seen these claims made to Corey X Kenshin, and I couldn't help but feel that the claim for it, in order for this to be called a manga, it needs to be Japanese and made in Japan to be sort of not enough. But hey, maybe it is. Personally, I think it's okay for this to be called a manga, but I'm willing to admit that I will change my position for this if I am proven otherwise. But before that, I just want to point out that there were also some people that said that the video he used to promote Monsters We Make wasn't an anime, but quite simply a cartoon, because again, not Japanese, wasn't made in Japan, etc, etc. And again, it seems like it needs to be that in order for it to be called an anime. So here's what the rundown looks like. It seems like, and it could be wrong, manga turns into anime and comics turn into cartoons, or
Yeah, it's just when you think of it, I don't think it's a regional thing. I don't know. It's weird because it's exactly what I said. Manga is just a Japanese comic book. Comics is just a Western comic book. It's just different names, same damn thing. It's like if I gave you like a, I don't know. If I gave you like a, I don't know, some money. If I gave you a quarter and I gave you $1, they're different in value, but they're still money. They're still categorized as money, right? So it's like if I have yen and I have $1, they're different in value, but they're both currency to pay for goods and services. So I don't know.
televised animated series.
This is like literally manga is yen, and then like comic books is $1.
At this point, I considered looking up definitions and origins to words and direct translations, but I realized that that's not what people of Twitter or Reddit or just people of the internet in general are talking about. I'm not sure, honestly. I just think a lot of people are honestly picking and choosing what things mean. Like, I'm pretty sure anime is just short for animation, but to be fair, as time went on, the word anime transformed into something meaning a lot more than just the short version of animation.
Hey, what's up, Crash?
If you know what I mean. Because if anime is short for this, then anime also means this. But that's not what people are thinking of when we say anime. But despite that, I still...
So what he's talking about is the overall aesthetic. It's not the anime. Well, the animation may play in that because of like the Sakuga thing. But like then again, it's like what he's saying is he's talking about the. Yeah, they're talking about the aesthetic at this point. So when we say anime, we're talking about big eyes, crazy hair, neon like crazy colors. Usually pretty supernatural in most cases. Sometimes if it's just a slice of life, it still has like an aesthetic. Like, okay, let's use an example. Like, we have Avatar: The Last Airbender and Teen Titans, the first one. It kind of tries to resemble an anime base aesthetic, especially in Teen Titans when it had its own art style, but it had some unique aspects about it that made you feel like, this feels like my favorite. It kind of like mirrors or homages to a certain anime I used to watch when they're being silly or they're having like a moment of like being little chibis or something like that. That was something that I think what really set Teen Titans at the time differently from all the other DC shows, because they was not really focusing on the whole anime thing or doing the anime aesthetic. They went with the whole traditional Superman, Justice League Unlimited, Batman. Like it didn't have those aesthetics. It wasn't like over exaggerated type aesthetic. It was very it is it is a cartoon, but it also has anime, or it uses anime aesthetics to a degree without it technically looking like anime. So
Clips on definitions and direct translations between English and Japanese. And don't worry, I know Google Translate isn't the best tool for direct translations, but let's try it anyway. Well, it seems translating the words cartoon or comic comes up as manga when translated to Japanese. Again, just to let it be known, I don't think that this is necessary information or necessary proof to people that comics are equivalent to manga. I'm just looking up definitions right now and translations. This, again, bear with me, guys, please. This is a very interesting conversation. At least it is to me. Very quickly, I wanted to look at the whole being Japanese and made in Japan thing and sort of test it. I wanted to look at other examples of people that may have already done their own manga.
Copyright for
The
this
people that are
stupid
in the
song.
art/manga art community, you may have already known of a YouTuber and a manga artist called White Manga. He has his own manga called Apple Black, which I do actually own the first volume, albeit it's an old edition for it. But that aside, looking at this, people will say that this isn't a manga, but rather a manga-inspired comic. Similar to how Avatar The Last Airbender is considered to be an anime-inspired cartoon.
See what I'm talking about?
The reason being, again, the blood of which whose hands have made this product must be of Japanese descent and must be made in the land of the rising sun. And from there, it could be called a manga, and from that, it could be made into an anime. Okay, then how about this then? Have you guys heard about Radiant? This was drawn and written by Tony Valente, and according to
And he's French.
Wikipedia, it's called a manfra, which I guess translates to French manga. And yeah, I guess that makes sense since Tony Valente is French himself.
Plus, they have the what's that one inspired anime show? It's called Wok Fu. That's a French made, or Canadian, I believe it's French. Like it's one. It's called Wok Fu. It has very anime inspired themes, but it has its own look. It has just like it goes down the same route of like Teen Titans. It used, I think, puppeteering animation type way, and then it also has its own style, but it also uses like anime exaggerations in their thing. Correct. Also, I think Marvin Mystery, I think it was called Marvin Mystery, right? So, you know.
But the crazy thing is that Radiant got an anime adaptation. Yeah, anime, made by Japanese people that speak the Japanese language in the land known as Japan. And after looking at some clips, I think both me and you guys watching this video right now can both agree that this at least can be called an anime, right? But by that virtue, this should also be called a manga, right? Because only a manga can be turned into anime, right? Well, it's probably not that simple, I'll be honest. Bit of a side note, but I'll admit that while I was doing research for this video, this was the first time I've heard of the word manfra, and I'm still side-eyeing that word because I could type manga, manhwa, and manhua and not have the spelling error underlining, but when I type manfra, well, regardless of whether you call it a manga, manhwa, or comic, I believe that it can at least have the capability of being made that which we call anime. I mean, look at things like Tower of God, God of High School, Noblest, Hell, Solo Leveling, all of which are Korean, but they all got anime adaptations. But I do think webtoons or digital comics in general are a lot more chill when it comes to names. Whether it was created by a Korean, Japanese, Chinese, black, white, blue, or green person, people will call this a webtoon or webcomic. I don't hear people say web manga or web manhwa, but actually, there is the case of One Punch Man. No, not that One Punch Man, this one. I'm curious about what you guys have to say about this. Would this be called a webtoon or a webcomic? Or do you guys want to differentiate this and call it a web manga or digital manga, or are they all the same? I do think that if a French or black person makes webcomic, webtoon, whatever, I don't think their race or where they drew it matters. It would still be called a webcomic or a webtoon. But let's look at that a bit deeper. Do you need to be Japanese for it to be called manga?
I don't technically think you have to be Japanese to make it manga. What I think you need to do is keep the anime aesthetic. So, like, to use an example, like if I'm drawing, I came to learn like a couple of months ago, I think a little before my birthday, that Sonic is not considered technically a furry because he doesn't have furry traits or elements. He's just a humanoid anthropomorphic character who happens to be an animal but has more human-like features. So he has literal 5 hands, 2 legs, and wears shoes, right? He does have a tail, yes, and he does still look like a hedgehog to a degree and all that stuff. But if you compare him to I don't know, the type of furry that you see on VR chat, you can see a significant difference in characteristics and traits. I came to learn that he's not considered technically a furry. I guess furry coded, but not furry per se. Because the elements aren't there. Correct. So Mickey Mouse, I guess, and Mickey Mouse and Sonic is kind of on the same level, right? They both have 2 legs, 2 feet, hands, and they walk like a human being. But if you have someone who's a furry who has actual wolf hands, the body parts of a literal animal, let's just say they're a horse, right? And they're walking anthropomorphic they still have the hooves and the legs of the horse, right? But just built in the way that looks human, but not with a straight leg like a human. It's more like an animal leg that's contorted in a certain way. Okay? So it's like that. I guess you can use that as an example.
Is your ethnicity the de facto thing that matters on whether or not it can be called manga? Well, obviously not. There are Koreans that do manga. Look no further than Boichi, the artist for Dr. Stone. Or look at Im Dal-young, or as I call him, the literal antichrist that did the dog shit known as freezing and many other incomplete work. If you guys have the gall to give these wastes of paper and ink a pass to be called manga, but Corey can't call his work manga, then you got me messed up. But again, to be fair, Wikipedia does separate their manga work from their manhwa work. Hell, forget manga or manhwa, we have Vo Fan, a Taiwanese illustrator as—
But wait. So, if that's such a problem, instead of calling it manga, or even anime, just change the name, right? So, you see how the French had their own thing, the Koreans have their own thing, the Japanese have their current own thing. Instead of calling it manga, call it a Western manga, or call it a wanga. This sounds stupid, like wongo, I wombo, he, she, me, wombo. 4 quarters. Wait, 4 quarters and $1 bill is still $1. True, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's actually, you're right. You're right. That's the same. 4 quarters and $1 is still the same, and it's still considered money. You're right, right? So we can do it that way. It's genius, but instead of us trying to run off Japan's words, just make up your own damn thing. They can't get mad at you if you call it what you want, right? Right? If I make my own Sonic OC, is it Sonic? No, it's Sonic inspired, but it's not Sonic, right? So instead of calling it manga, call it wonga or something. Western manga. There you go. They can't get mad. It's made by an American. So you can say it's not a wonga because it's not made by a Westerner who's not from the West. There you go. You can the gatekeeping is easy to do if you don't try to do it you try to follow the path. You look at the pattern. French did it. The Koreans did it. They call it mangwa or mangwa. Why can't we call it wonga? It is what it is. Shit. So it encapsulates every Westerner from that point. So it doesn't have to. It doesn't matter if you're black, Hispanic, whatever you are. Black, Hispanic, white, whatever. It doesn't matter. You're all encased in that. Right? So it is what it is. So even if you're Japanese and you live in the West, you made a wonga. Yeah.
the artist for the Bakemonogatari light novels. Can this be called a light novel, or are light novels the exception? And speaking of light novels, what about Yu Kamiya, the artist and writer for No Game No Life? He's of Japanese, Italian, and Portuguese descent. Is he just Japanese enough for it to count? I personally think the ethnicity claim is the weakest claim to make. This is sort of tangential, but look at K-pop. There are some groups that have non-Korean members, and they sometimes don't even speak Korean for some of their songs. I mean, look at this K-pop group Cat's Eye, and yes, they are a K-pop group despite only one member being Korean. I think they call it K-pop because it was formed in Korea by a Korean company, and I think that's what matters the most, but other than that, like, their ethnicity has nothing to do with it. However, K-pop is definitely not my specialty, so again, I don't really have the strongest opinion on it, but I'll let you guys in the comments decide that one. But needless to say,
a guy on TikTok calls his a tunga. A tunga. That sounds tunga? I don't know, bro. Would you call it that? I think wonga is a lot easier to say compared to tunga. It's easier to spell. You just literally flip the M. He, she, me, wombo. You just wombo that shit. Wombo, womboing. It's wombology. This is first grade, people. Just flip the M. That's all you need to do. That's it. Right? I wouldn't call it tunga. That's just sound like you're just being too much. You're doing too much. Every other country outside Japan still kept the M, but they just kind of like changed the backwards word. All you need to do is change the W. Just change the M and just put a W. Keep the manga part. Just take away the M and then put a W. But wonga. What's the problem with that? Western manga. That's it. It's just easier.
Where it was made is a much stronger argument than who made it. If Corey were to go to Japan, would this then become a manga? I think in that case it would pass the manga test, but again, if it's online, does the location of where it got published matter, like in webtoons or things just uploaded digitally? Just to reiterate, I want this to be an open discussion and a safe space for thought, or maybe I'm just overthinking it. I personally think that
he's overthinking it. What he's doing is trying to I get what he's doing, but what he's doing is he's running it around a circle. Instead of running around a circle, break off the circle and take the pattern with you. That's what I did. So instead of worrying about if it's made by a Japanese person or is made in Japan, let's just flip it and just say, okay, we want to make it into an anime or a manga, but because it's a Japanese thing, how about we just flip it and call it a wanga because it's made from the West, and if it's Japanese inspired like the others did from the other countries, then we get our own thing. We can call it wanga, right? And you can also call it your own type of anime without stepping on the toes of the Japanese or any other country. There you go. You solved the problem. Sitting here trying to figure out if it is or isn't makes no sense. Why just make a whole new definition and you can make whatever rules you want at that point? Why go by the rules that you already confuse you? Make your own damn rules. We do that anyway in America. Why not? We make our own damn rules, especially when we're breaking reality at this point. Might as well do that. Do what we've been doing for the last 15, 20 years. Just breaking the rules. Make your own damn rules. Here's what it is. There's no one stopping you. It's not against the law. You're not hurting anyone. Actually, quite frank, you're avoiding hurting everyone by making your own damn rules. Right? Remember, like, perfect example. In 2010, we did this thing where a lot of these... I don't know if anyone remembers, but there was a show called Silent Library. It came on MTV. I'm actually probably making myself sound old now bringing this up. It was a show called Silent Library. And it was a show, or a game show, where a bunch of people will sit in a library, for those who don't know, and they'll do a bunch of tasks in the library without making too much noise. The more noise you make, the less money you make, because you get paid for being quiet. So what they'll do is do certain tasks that are very difficult or very funny, and you can't help because you have to stay quiet doing whatever you're doing alongside your team. The less you did, or the less noise you made, the more money you made. Correct, yeah. And, you know, Silent Library came from Japan. I don't know if it was under the same name of what the premise was, but it came from Japan first, because majority of the stuff that we get that is like reality TV game shows isn't from America. We usually get it from other countries and just put our own Western spin on it, one way or another. It is what it is. So it is what it is. I would do that. Just change the name from manga to wanga.
The term manga and comic do mean something individually. When someone says comic, they think of a certain type of art style, panel composition, and storytelling, and maybe subject matter like superheroes and things like that. When someone says manga, we're thinking of the anime art style, large eyes, sharp nose, etc., while most comics look a lot like this. But with that being the case,
this is the Miles Morales problem. This is literally the Miles Morales if he's Spider-Man or not. That's what this is. This is what this argument truly is, if you think about it. We only know we're talking about Miles Morales when you say Miles Morales. You don't say Spider-Man. When you say Spider-Man, you're thinking either Peter or maybe you're talking about Marvel. For real? So like what they need to do. So what they need to do that's crazy. What they need to do is just change the name, because like let's use example again. If I use the word Scarlet Spider, you know who I'm referring to. If I say Penny Parker, you know who I'm talking about. If I say Gwen Stacy or Spider Gwen, you know who I'm talking about. So this stupid argument about if he's Spider-Man or not, I'm not saying that Miles isn't a Spider-Man, but he's not Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? Because once we say Miles Morales, you know who I'm referring to. I don't need to say Peter Parker half the time because we always knew for him to be Spider-Man. That's kind of like, so now it's like a default. He's literally the default at that point. Now, I'm not saying as like if he's stronger or anything like that. I'm just saying as in title alone. It's like a default. So that's what that is.
this, nor this looks like what we think comics look like. However, in that same vein, we have things like Crayon Shinchan that look nothing like typical anime or manga. And yes, this is considered to be an anime. Why? Because the Google AI told me so. Okay, I'm just kidding. But I do think there's a lot of people in Japan that will look at Crayon Shinchan and call it anime. But not because they think of anime the way Americans or the Western world thinks of it. Probably because they call all cartoons anime. This discussion could be further expanded on the question of what anime is. And honestly, I think the sentiment of that all cartoons are anime, but not anime are all cartoons, is a sentiment I think most of us can agree on. But again, I do think Japan doesn't really think the same way Americans are thinking about this. Earlier in this video, I said that the word anime was just short for animation. However, that is definitely not the case anymore. The thing known as anime refers to things like this.
I remember Shinchan. Well, I think Horikoshi did do some artwork on the Spider-Man specifically.
I think the style and aesthetic plays a huge part in what we call anime. In fact, I think that's the most important.
Actually, there is an anime already of like Batman.
Important part. It's why I always consider Avatar: The Last Airbender to just be an anime. The art style, the aesthetic, the storytelling is very much like an anime. Hell, I think it's better than most anime that I see to this day. But let's shift away anime for a bit and let's talk about the physical format of manga and comics as well. In terms of the physical book, manga tends to do the first volume all the way to the last volume. And I know there are some comics that do start from volume 1 and end on whatever volume number it ends, but I'm going to assume that people think of the many different runs and single issues comics have. At least it was that way when it comes to old classic Marvel and DC. Now there are comics that do the multiple volumes thing, but if someone were to ask me where to start if they want to know about, well, the X-Men, it'd be a lot more nuanced than starting from volume 1.
And this is why I don't think a lot of the Japanese really jump on the multiversal thing, very rarely. I know Akira Toriyama jumps on it. Yeah, he loves Spider-Man. Yeah, I'm gonna turn it back on so you guys can get to hear it, because I don't need to always worry about the ting noise thing. I don't think anyone's gonna say anything insane yet. But hold on. Why is that one on that? Okay, so hold on. Let me fix this real quick. Okay, ding. Let's read that loud. There you go.
Just to be clear, I do think both have their pros and cons. If you want to read Demon Slayer and don't know a single thing about it, you most definitely cannot start on volume 10. You will have absolutely no idea of what's going on. But comics are a bit more freeform in that way. If you like Batman and know more or less the basic Batman premise, You can more or less pick up any Batman story you think that sounds interesting and just go ahead and read it. I'm grossly making this sound easy, but there's really no single beginning Batman comic that I could point to you. But if you move away from Marvel and DC...
You're not wrong. There's no, like, I guess there is, but there isn't at the same time, because at this point, Western comic books, especially superhero stories, are more of like, if you know the basic premise of that character, you know enough, right? So if, like, let's use Bruce Wayne. He lost his parents. He was tragically hurt by that, and then he used their funds to become Batman to a degree while he was growing up. Superman came from another planet, got destroyed, came to Earth, into Kansas, got raised by two parents, and eventually became Superman. That's literally the premise. After that, after that usual basic premise, the sky's the limit from that point. Then you just can multiverse your way through a what-if scenario with these characters. And I think that's a good thing and a bad thing, because it gives writers like a new perspective on the characters, but it causes too much confusion amongst normies, especially if they're trying to start from like a specific way. And there's like different issues of different comic books that can go left fast. And then some person will say this is the best version of Batman. Some people say this is a better version of Batman. And then you get a bunch of debates, and then you're not really, you started where you last left off. So you didn't really go anywhere. You're just kind of more confused than before. So it's like, you just start somewhere based on what issue you want to start with. It's not really like a win or a loss, but you don't have like a definitive X, Y, and Z unless you're reading like the Jack Kirby and the Stan Lee's version. Then that's probably the most definitive, to be honest, at its most basic level. But anything like modern day, no, not really. But like he said, Demon Slayer, Dragon Ball is pretty straightforward. You can start in literally episode 1 or volume 1 and then end it on whatever volume it ended on. That's it. Now, I understand that Akira Toriyama kind of ran with the whole what-if scenario, and I think that's kind of annoying, and that's why a lot of people probably hates Dragon Ball Heroes to a degree, and I understand, and that causes too much headache and power scaling and all that stuff, and it just gets to a point where it just gets ridiculous and stupid. So, yeah.
You'll find things like Image, Boom, and Dark Horse does the thing with Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, etc. Also, with manga, there's usually one artist. Sure, they may have a team or assistants to help with backgrounds and general inking, but only one artist is getting their name on the volume cover. Well, two if the artist and author are separate people. But for comics, you can find the names of the penciler, the inker, the colorer, the letterer, and a whole other person that does the art for the cover. And don't forget, the artist can be changed in and out over the course of a single run when it comes to comics.
Oh yeah,
which
that
could
too.
be a bit annoying because in one chapter it could look a certain way, then you flip the page and the art style looks completely different. But that's beside the point. With all of these things being said, I don't believe there's only one way to make a comic or manga. I've seen some manga switch out their main artists, although it's usually due to health concerns like the Pokemon Adventures manga, or due to like literally dying, like for Berserk or Solo Leveling Ragnarok. And as for the rules to what can be called manga or what label is appropriate, personally I think it's a bit more nuanced than just being Japanese and being made in Japan, although I do think being made in Japan is a much stronger reason for it being a manga as opposed to just being Japanese. The point is though, for Corey X. Kenshin and his manga Monsters We Make, and for Tony Valente for Radiant, and for White Manga's Apple Black, I can see the vision. I can see where the inspiration was taken from and the passion being put into and the reason why they want to call this a manga and why they made this in the manga format. But honestly, I'll admit Corey said it best.
Call it what you want, just read it, please.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I wanted to do this video for a while because the manga/comic discourse has been on the rise lately on Twitter, and again, the Dandadan thing has been rather explosive. I'm not going to go into that since I don't think I have a very strong and formed perspective on the whole thing, but let's just add this whole thing as to another reason why I never do fan art of any sort. Yes, it's easy to get more exposure as an artist this way, but I'm honestly trying to be a very inoffensive YouTuber and artist, if that makes any sense. The art community and the anime community are ruthless, but it is the name of the beast, unfortunately. Again, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like the video and want to see more videos of me talking about art stuff, like the video. Liking the video is cool. Comments are cool too. Good comments are cool. And
All right, you got it. Okay, that's Nam. Like, subscribe, share, follow, and comment if you guys enjoy this and all that great stuff. I didn't do it with the other video. Sorry about that. So with that said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you. I appreciate it and all that great stuff. We're going to watch the next video. All right. Oh, follow Nam as well. So we can... I'm going to put his link and everything in the description for watching this. So I'll put even the video as well so you don't miss out. If you like him or you like his commentary, I'll put his stuff in the description. All right. So we're going to do the next video. This one is from Coolin. I know we kind of talked about the Studio Ghibli thing already, but I would like to see her inside of this. Some of you may know who she is. This is probably your first time actually seeing what she looks like, but she usually uses her avatar to represent herself. But this is the first time for some people seeing her for the first time. I think I've seen her like one time before in one of her videos from way back when, but this is like the second time I'm seeing her like actually look at her and pay attention to what she looks like. All right, so let's see what it says. It says the Studio Ghibli AI situation is crazy. So she's gonna give her opinion about it. We're gonna see what it's about. It's only 8 minutes long, and then we'll go to the anime. Let me see any anime recommendations. We'll have to do that.
So absolutely cooked right now. I can't even... Guys, we are so absolutely cooked right now. I can't even begin to tell you how cooked we are. All of this is AI. We are unbelievably cooked. Okay. So let me give you a bit of context. It all started literally just a few days ago. It started with this Twitter post, okay? Now this random dude said, tremendous alpha right now in
Ryu the
sending your
Samurai
web
said you.
photos of y'all converted to Studio Ghibli anime. So basically this guy used AI to turn this picture into this AI generated picture with the Studio Ghibli art style. And low-key, I'm not gonna lie you guys, this does not even look like AI. It legit looks like the Studio Ghibli art style. Except for the feet though, I could have drawn better. Well anyway, this post got 43 million views. What the Sigma? And like looking at the quotes, like half the people love it and half the people are hating on it. Okay, so somebody quote tweeted, if I speak, I will become Twitter's villain of the week. So I will say nothing at all. Bam, 9 million views. Half the people hate it and the other half love it. But like low-key, it's a hit or miss, cause like what the heck is this? Where is his redness? Bro, this is so freaking crazy. Yeah, so like in case you guys didn't know, the guy who founded Studio Ghibli, Hayao Miyazaki, does not like AI like at all. Let me show you guys what Big Bro has to say about AI, alright?
極めて不愉快ですよね。そんなに気持ち悪いものをやりたいなら勝手にやってればいいだけで、僕はこれを自分たちの仕事をつなげたいとは全然思いません。極めて何か
I
生
strongly
命に
feel that
対
is
する侮辱を
to
感じます。
insult life itself.
Bro, look at their faces.
Girls
No, why
confused.
does he look like that one monkey meme? Like, oops, I think I screwed up. This is an insult to life itself, bruh. AI could never make something like this. Oops, turns out it did. Look at this AI generated image of the Paris Olympian guy. Bro, what the heck is this? This looks so freaking accurate. So a lot of people are like fighting against this. People are like, pick it up. This is an insult to life itself. And a lot of people are shading it too, like, drawing myself as a Ghibli character with the skills I learned and developed. Bro, that is so shady. I love it. Yeah, it's not bad at all. Actually, I also did that like a long time ago. Yeah, I drew this, guys. It's so pretty, right? Yeah, this is my Studio Ghibli inspired art. AI could never beat this, bro. Now, ever since this Twitter post dropped, a lot has happened. Like, so many people are like using AI to generate Studio Ghibli photos of themselves. I know you can't copyright an art style, but like, this is just crazy. This is just insane, guys. Not only is it insane, it's also really goofy. Like, AI is hella inaccurate. Like, sure, it looks good from afar, but like, here's an example. What the heck is this logo? This is supposed to be the Olympics logo. What is this, Mickey Mouse? Some people are gonna see this and think that it's official art. Like, they're gonna assume that this is the Olympics logo. I mean, yeah, that's stupid, but like, a lot of people are stupid, so like, it's still a valid argument. Now, the main reason why this whole AI thing is blowing up again is because apparently OpenAI released like really advanced image generation. Like, for example, these or this. this? Bro, this legit looks like a freaking children's book cover. What the heck? Now, there's a lot of things you can do with AI now, like graphics design. What the heck is this? And you could also make voxel art, whatever that is, but holy crap. Was this generated by feeding AI a 2D image? That is so crazy. And it could also morph two images together. That is, artists are legit
bro, that's
gonna
crazy.
lose their job.
They can morph two images together? That's... What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh my god, that's annoying.
What the heck? Okay, so it could also generate different types of art styles. Like, this is the original image, right? It could be like this, or like this, or like this. Honest, guys, it's really freaking weird. Like, what is that hand? How long is his hand for it to be there? Like, and what the heck is this supposed to be? Diglett from Pokemon? But obviously, people don't care about that. Okay, so I actually also asked AI to, like, generate me. I am not endorsing it in any way, okay? I just wanted to show you guys so you can see how freaking ridiculous this is. Like, there's a picture of myself. Alright, I low-key fed AI my face. I'm so cooked, but that's okay because I'm Asian. And all Asians look alike anyway, so I don't really care. And yes, I do pay for ChatGPT, alright? That's because I low-key use it as my therapist. So I told ChatGPT, turn this into Studio Ghibli art. And then like 3 minutes later, boom. Okay, like low-key, bro, this does not even look like me. This looks like a really kind-hearted girl. Do I look like a kind-hearted girl to you? I also used another picture. This one next. Make it more edgy though, but still Studio Ghibli. And bro came out with this. Low-key sucks. Yeah, that is not Studio Ghibli. There's no freaking way. People have even made animations. That is so crazy. Dude, these guys are so fast. Like, y'all are jobless for real. Some people have even used AI to like make an animation of their art. Now this guy's like using AI to rotate his drawing, which is honestly, it looks so cool except for the fact that like bro had two faces for a moment there. Like, whoa, what was that? If you do this
Yeah, two faces.
by the way, you're feeding AI your art, so you're gonna be cooked. Don't do this. But I mean, bro had like 120k likes. Nah, I would do that too for real. I'm a clout chaser. Yo, what the heck? These look so fire, bro. I mean, AI generated stuff has always been around for like years now, but like it's going viral again recently. And it's because of the open AI stuff. Like now there's a TikTok webtoon filter. POV, me as a webtoon character.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie.
That does
it made him more
not look like
attractive.
you. I mean, I don't know. It's
It
just
made him more attractive, but it's not him.
turns everyone into a yaoi character. But then
Yeah,
again,
pretty
so
much.
does my art style. I don't care what I look like as a webtoon character. Anyways, what's this? Bro, what the heck is that? This just looks like a generic villainess who pretends to be your friend and then talks behind your back. Like, what are those hands, bro? What is she holding? Like a phone? Like, look at this, guys. So freaking different from her. Like, look at her eyebrows, guys. It's completely bleached. It's completely bald. Where is the individuality, bro? And like, her hairstyle changed. Like, her original hair, she needs to dye her roots. But this is just all pink. AI, you suck. So, I'm gonna redraw that to prove that I'm better than AI, okay? Now, first off, she has hella blushies and she has spiky lashes, alright? I'm talking upper and lower. AI already missed. Now, her eyebrows are bald, so we're gonna make her eyebrows bald and add a mole. It's really just about capturing her features, guys. Like, bro, AI did not even bother making her lips juicy. Now, I'm just gonna make her hair more accurate to the actual picture and actually add some light back into her eyes. Okay. So, now for the hands. Sorry, I'm no better than AI. I suck at drawing hands, so let's just leave it at that. I'm so sorry for disappointing you guys. Anyway, and guys, look at this. This is the before, alright? Now, this is the after. Bro. Alright, you see that? Now she actually looks like the drawing. I mean, I know I'm not the best at capturing features. I've gotten a lot of hate for that, but even I'm better than a freaking TikTok filter, dog. And that is the difference between AI and an actual human artist. Like, I actually have eyes and I can make all kinds of artistic decisions. Know what I'm saying? Except for the hands though. Hands are my kryptonite for real. Well, yeah, so here are just my 2 cents. Like, with this Studio Ghibli thing, I know you can't copyright an art style, but like, I feel like this is just unethical because like they're using a whole company's name to generate these images. Like, they're not even getting
I told you, like I said, this is gonna eventually get worse, and then until it hits Congress in a way that bothers them, then they'll do something about it. and at that point they may not even do much.
Compensated like even $1. So there needs to be rules for this, bro. Well, that's it for today. Hope you guys like this video. Watch this. I'll see you there. Stay cool.
Cool. All right, so that was Coolin. I can never say. Like, subscribe, share, follow, comment, all that great stuff. See you guys in the next one. All that great stuff. Yeah, and I'll leave her stuff in the description at the bottom and all that great stuff. Keep saying that, don't know why. And give her a follow if you like her stuff. Most of you probably know who she is anyway, so I don't have to even give her an introduction at this point. But anyway, let's go on to the next one. Alright, so let's see. No, not this one. This is more for me than anything. Okay. No, that's not it. Draw better. Okay.
You, the art community.
Okay, we got our last art one, and then after this, we'll do the anime stuff. So this is from Ethan Baker. I've watched his videos before, and I've learned a little bit from him. This one says, draw better, faster, art hack, baby. Do this challenge and make mileage fun. So I guess he's going to teach you how to keep consistent with the practice. This is something that's going to be interesting for myself, because I haven't watched him in a long time, but since I'm putting more emphasis on my work, then yeah, I'll be watching him more often. I'm sure see what he has to say, because he has some great insights. He used to work on, like, for those who don't know, he used to work on some Netflix shows. He also worked on Avatar: The Last Airbender. He has animated for them and stuff. So if that's something that's like your cup of tea, he might be your guy. If you want to learn from him, he has some tutorials here and there that can teach you little things and all that great stuff. So his link will be in the description when this video is over. I'll cut this segment in, and then you can follow him, or in case it'll be in the description. All right, so let's go.
Getting better at drawing faster, easy. It's easy. All right. AI this and AI that. I can't this, I can't that. Can't never could, baby. You ever heard of that? You ever seen a knife before? Step one, what you need to realize is that what you need is mileage. You lazy f***. You're gonna just do one illustration. You can't just do one illustration. That's why you need animation in your life. Animation is 1,000,000 drawings per second. Don't even talk to me about illustration. You should try animation. You're gonna get better faster than all these bozos out here. Don't do illustration. That's for a little baby little thing. If you're an illustrator, all right, get that shit out of here. I don't even want to. Hey! Oh my god! Whoa! Hey! All right, chill. Hey! Oh, hey! Stop. As you can see, illustrators are just something's not right with them. So don't be like that.
Just be clear, this was 4 months ago, so this is a little before the Ross thing. So, like, if you're seeing Ross, they're pretty close and they're friends, so.
Step 2 is that you need to create a shit North Star. You need to create a fun, stupid project with a friend that you can actively f up together. And it's okay, because we know you will. You're gonna f up, but mess it up, actively create a horrible thing. It's gonna free you up a lot for step 3, baby. So step 3, shoot your friends. Shoot your friends in the face and the full body. Grab a camera with your friends, your grandma, and shoot the whole thing so you have video reference. A fun activity that you can get up and get off your lazy and so that is what we are doing today. You, the art community, bunch of knuckleheads, you sent me all of your video references of you and your friends running around, being crazy, and you created art out of it. And so that's what we're going to be reviewing today, baby. I'm going to feature you, I'm going to roast you, and everybody give it up for the Ethan Becker art review. Let's go, baby. This is about you. This is about you going to the gym, grabbing a gym buddy, and getting your art done together as an artist community. We love each other. Yes, we do. We really are. All right, everybody give it up for Jay. You're going to do great. I've got a feeling. All right, Jay, this is disgusting. It looks horrendous. Makes me want to myself. Honestly, after seeing this, I want to throw up. Obviously, I'm just joking. This is crazy. The head turn here, great line quality, line confidence, absolutely. What the freaking frick happens to this duck right here? It's just completely destroyed.
Oh,
the duck is just decimated by something.
You got pushed by the wind. I just now, okay.
I guess it's just a gust of wind. Good character acting, a nice squat here, looking real good. Yeah, and there's the run cycle, looking great. Everybody take a little page out of Jay's book. You know what I'm saying? Huh? You know what I mean? All right. Good job. All right, next up we got Whatever Man. Yeah, kinda sucks. Hey, hush up with that. We don't bring that kind of attitude in this environment. Okay, we keep it positive. We want to hurt our friends in a very positive way. Next time you come up in here, I want to be seeing you hurting your friends in a very nice, fun way. And don't be naming this stuff whatever, man. Yeah, kind of sucks. Get that shit here. All right, let's see what you did. I'm so excited to see the art. Oh, yeah. So this is what I'm talking about. You might be the winner today. You're running in just like an anime, running towards camera. That's a great run. Your shoulders are set just right. You're actually putting in the effort. Wow, this is really good footage. Yes, perfect. That's what I'm talking about. You nailed it. This is the exact assignment that I wanted you to do. You're, using the reference properly. All right, you did good. I don't want to hear this whatever, man, yeah, kind of sucks crap again. Don't bring that kind of attitude into your art. What you did was perfectly fine. It's great. It's like one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. Let me tell you something. The type of line quality and the type of art that you're going to produce is directly linked to your brain and how your brain is thinking about stuff. That's how it's going to come out, all right? So have a little bit more faith next time, and I want to see your confident animation next time. But hey, you know, I'm not going to lie. It did suck really bad. What's going on with those feet, man? You got to do something about those feet. Ty Donna. How you doing, Ty Donna? Okay, Ty Donna has forced a bunch of children to run for them for reference. Very good. You're already an animator, pretty much. Great job. With that, you are referencing this, which is great. It looks like a Miyazaki watercolor type of thing. You've forced a smile onto the character's face, as opposed to these kids who are not smiling, not happy. You get a fish. There you go. What is this? What is this, CC farts? I don't want to see this kind of crap in here anymore. Is there still time to submit? Take the initiative. Submit. Do the work. It's not for me. It's not for everybody else. It's for you, farts. And there we go. There's CC farts submitting. Everybody, a round of applause for CC taking the initiative. We always knew you could do it, farts. Very good job. Always a beautiful thing to see CC farts doing the animation, throwing the chicken leg. I don't know the context, but it's looking great. There you go. Everybody, a round of applause for CC farts. Never disappoints. Always looking forward to the turkey leg throw. All right, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Come on now, everybody get it up for Honey Tree. Hey, Honey Tree. Oh my God, they're running so fast. All right, first of all, I needed actual live footage of you pushing somebody to the ground. That is why we're submitting these, so we can actively see people hurt their friends. So please submit that next time. And another thing is we want to push the poses, right? The poses aren't pushed that much whenever they're running. So let's go ahead and take a screen capture and take a look at what we can fix on this. All right, this is called Fixing That Trash Art. Here we go. All right, first up, you want to find the right reference. I spent a lot of my time looking for the right reference. It's just going down the stairs kind of wonky. Perfect. And also grab something from Sherlock Hound. These are perfect, right? It's doing the same thing, just kind of two different poses-ish. Very first thing I want to see is I tube it out. I'm going to tube it out. I immediately see the knee. The knee is showing you where the tube goes. The shorts, they're going to tell you where the tube goes. So that means the skirt over here. It's got to show you where the tube goes. Top of the knee shows you where the tube goes. Top of the foot shows you where the tube goes. You're just tubing it out. You just got to be clear.
So you're using all the tubes to... Oh, okay. For the perspective.
Clear of, you know, what are you seeing? The top, bottom of the foot, the top of the foot. And I'm not even going to draw the freaking calf, the willy-nilly out of my head, right? I'm going to look at how they did it over here. Top of the one side of the calf is a little bit taller than the other side of the calf. It's that simple. I ain't making it so complicated. Over here, your arm is so flat. It's like a karate chop. And over here, it's the arm is hidden behind the shirt. It's okay. You don't need to always see where the arm is all the time, right? It can be hidden behind the pose. It's a push pose. And if the arm is behind the body, then our brains fill in the gap. And over here, there's completely two different animations. One's like current, and the other one's like from the freaking 70s, right? So they're doing the same thing, and they're folding the arm like this to show that the L of the arm just shows the depth of it, right? Yours doesn't have as much depth. Wrong, don't do it like that. This one's interesting, right? It's just that the shoulders are going hard in one direction, and on here, the shoulders are also going hard in the other direction. Point is, you got to make a decision. And don't just leave it like a square like this and like a flat thing. Don't do that. This one's right. Good job. Good job. Wrong. Don't do that. Hey, you join Project City. It is the place for you to go if you are a struggling artist and you need a community of fools to practice art with. We've got professional animation industry teachers teaching there every single freaking day of the week. As of right now, the community is just small enough where we can review all of your work individually. I'm not sure if it's going to be like that forever because it's growing fast, so hop on in. All right, Mackie Star, looking pretty good. It's just, I think you need to zoom out a little bit. I can't tell exactly what's going on. So keep it up. Zoom out next time. Aton, this is not an Instagram competition. What are you doing? This is a horrible drawing. Get out of here. What's crapping in Al? You say, I don't really want to show the references of myself here. All right, well then you just blur your face out or something. We have to see the references. That's important. Oh, I can see why you don't want to. Oh God. Oh my God. Yeah, that's, if I saw you doing that, I don't. Okay, maybe, yeah, blur out your whole
Listen, I can't do animation. I can try, but like, Jesus.
body. Oh God, what if Al is like a 80-year-old man? Maybe, okay, it's starting to make sense. Okay, Al, amazing animation. One note that I would give is you got to bend those knees a little bit more, all right? I know you're old. I know you're getting up there in age. Because you didn't submit any references, though, you're fired. I'm sorry. You're doing some pretty good booby bounce, though. I gotta say, maybe that can be one of the art challenges in the future. I'm looking forward to that. Thank you. All right, everybody give it up for Duck. Let's check out Duck. What you been doing, Duck? Oh yeah, Duck got the swag walk. Okay, this might be another potential winner. I really hope that you did some reference for this. Let's check it out. Yes. Oh yeah. Duck is looking swanky. Perfect. I feel like you nailed it because you embodied the character. That's what this is about, right? Is anybody can just do a drawing animation of just a character going through a scene, but you put in actual character, you push the poses, the character's got a little bit of a swank, a little wobble, you know, you can see it in the shoulders, you can see it in the hips, and that's what we're looking for, is the shoulders and the hips. Did you do this on paper? If you did this on paper, you are a straight G Duck. Everybody give it up for Duck. What is up, Jet? This better be good coming off of the Duck show. Here we go. Okay, so the context here is that they are exploring an abandoned building and they witness a crime, so they become the next target. Perfect. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You want to start a project so you can give yourself an excuse to, you know, make these drawings and make this animation. It helps you get better, faster, stronger, real quick. Dang, you really put in the work. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You did a full scene here. This is crazy. So you've got the storyline for this, but what I want to see is like mood and atmosphere in this. If you want to push it further, add some music that's going to help you understand the pacing to this. And definitely add voice lines, like actual voices to it. Even if it's just all of your voice, it's going to help you pace out the scene. But this is great. This is what I work with every day. And with my students, the animation projects that I work on, it's doing this. You're already doing it. Let's take a look at your reference. Yes. Oh my God, that's perfect. The angle cut. Hell yeah. I'm not gonna lie, you're pretty fast at the stairs. Oh my God, you're booking it. All right, pretty great. Again, next time I want to see you with a friend out there. You push them downstairs, do something, painful. Okay, this is great. The one thing though that you need to do if you're working in animation or comics or anything is this little special thing called a reaction shot. All right, I talk about this all the time in my classes. One of the most important things that you forget to do. So right here, as soon as the main character realizes something is going on down there, we need to know as the audience how to feel about the situation. So we need to see their reaction to it. This reaction is not enough. We need one more shot. It's gonna look something like this. Awesome stuff, Jet. I'll see you in the next one. Keep it up. We're gonna be working together someday, I know. Persuifani. Hey, Persuifani. Let's see what you done did. All right, not bad. Whoa! Oh my God, he's running into another dimension. Wow, you did a full-on animation. This is looking great. All right, a little bit of a run cycle there, looking pretty good. All right, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is 1,000,000 drawings per second, and but it's still not helping the hand situation. Oh, that's not looking good. That's all right, because you made it up with the bird pose. One thing I do like is that the camera is following this character through the hallway and pushing forward with them into the next shot. What you did wrong, though, I talk about this in my animation classes, is that the character's busting out this door and running screen left. And then we cut to this next shot, and the character's running from screen left to screen right. You want to probably flip that and then have the character pushing through from screen right to screen left into the next shot. Another really cool thing you did is like a full head turn right here. Profile to looking at the back of the head into this next shot. So really cool, awesome stuff. All right, Sora, you better be bringing the power with the power. Okay, so this is a judgment not on your art, but on how you run. It's kind of wonky. The leg is being thrown back there in a very strange, awkward way. Very painful to watch. Also, your roof is slightly tilted, some points deducted from that. So there is, your foot kind of pops up in one of these frames. And I personally love that. I love that in animation. You can see that in a lot of Ghibli animation where there's imperfections in running and like putting on shoes or some kind of simple task, you know? So anytime you can do that, I think that's really cool. And there you go. You've got the broken leg in one of these frames. That's cool. Yeah, you're stick figuring it out, you know? Hey, this looks great. This looks really good. You're doing the folding on the clothes and everything. And with this, you're not even wearing a jacket. So you're following the form with the folds of the clothes. And you referenced some Ghibli stuff here. Yeah, awesome. No, this is looking great. No notes. I mean, I wish it was a little bit of a longer run. Kappa, let's see what you got. All right. What the? Are those Pepsi bottles? Those are huge. One of the most annoying things I've ever seen is whenever you're doing references, but you're not actually in it. You're not pushing yourself to become the character, right? That's why we're shooting the references, to see where the shoulders are sitting and the hips. And I think you nailed that. You're actually running through this. So great job. Perfect. It looks great. It's so fast. But you've got this like hop in the air and bounce down. There's the running cycle right there. This looks great. This is like a full-on animation, not a storyboard, dude. You went above and beyond. Everybody give it up for Kappa. I want to see these characters in an actual project that you're producing. Everybody give it up for H. Let's see what H has been up to. They said they got carried away. They did some running frames and they got carried away. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. This is perfect. You have a setup, you have a punchline. She sees this. This is great world building too. I'm really into this story. So she sees this ghoul over, you know, like some kind of grave or something, and she's running at him. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna take you out. And so he pulls his sword out, and just when he thinks he's gonna hit her, she turns into a bag of bats, which is really cool. I don't think I've ever seen that. That's really cool. And then she pops up and then does a counterattack. It's the perfect setup and punchline. So you're a natural storyteller. Keep it up. The one thing is that we can push these poses, right? It's a little bit too stiff. Nobody's running like that. What are you doing? I'm gonna just do a quick draw over this. Let's take a look. All right, fixing that trash art round 2. Here we go. First off, I'm gonna look for the best reference. Spencer Wan, great running. Good friend of mine. Immediately I could see your pose needs to be a little stretched. All right, it's just not dynamic enough, right? I'm gonna look at Spencer's and I can see that his thighs are just pushed to the max. And if I stretch yours out, see, you almost got it. And it's if I break it down like this, I almost see the same dynamics in his.
You gotta stretch those legs out, bro.
Legs and his arms. They both kind of make this like stretched, you know, and yours don't feel like stretched. His feels pulled. And obviously your shoulder needs to be way up there, right? The shoulder needs to be like, if you're running at a full dead sprint, you just want to push the pose. Put that shoulder up on the top there. And your arm just doesn't, like, his arm does a little zippity doo-dah at the end. And yours just kind of, bleh, it just kind of fizzles out towards the end, you know? All right, and over here I'm going to do a real-time draw over of my drawing of yours. This is real time. There you go. And just so y'all know, next video, me and Ross are gonna be doing some acting in it. And I'm gonna be doing what we're doing here, but it's not running. It's about character acting and pushing the acting poses. So get ready with that. Get ready with your projects. All right, a round of applause for W, everybody. Let's take a look at the W. All right, look at me. I want you to look at me while I run at you. Look at my shoulders. See how they're doing this number? You want to exaggerate your poses. I can tell that you're good at drawing, you're good at the draftsmanship, right? Forget about all that. Next time you do one of these, I want you to push it until you break it, baby. You see how I'm running? You want to keep it nice and natural and the movement of like that. Very simple. Just keep it natural. It's just a little bit stiff, you know, it's just kind of like bouncy. But the hands and the forearms and stuff, great movement there. Honestly, it's good movement in this like bone thing behind her that's bouncing around. Good bounce. You got some real good bounce in you. Oh, they said I don't have grandparents to do the reference video. That's so sad. If we can get them some grandparents for the next video, somebody. Hey, there we go. I can cosplay as a grandparent. Thank you, V. Oh my God, that is stupid fast. See, I need the reference for this. You're booking it down these stairs. I think it's good. You just need to time it out, right? You just need to make sure that let's say right here, the left foot is planted there all along the wall, or the next frame, you want that left foot leaving that spot. Kind of like what you did right here. The right foot is planted. Now the right foot needs to be where it was in the last shot. Yeah, you're kind of leaving it on that step right there. Good stuff, iZome. I just want to see some reference next time. At least pushing somebody down the stairs. If you don't post the reference, then I can't help you with the frames, all right? Post the reference. Here we go with Aunt Buzz. We all love Aunt Buzz. What are you doing? Aunt Buzz, back at it. Look at it. Whoa. Check out what you did. Let's see what you did with that. Bad. So you're not matching the perspective. It's going to be a lot more difficult if you're not matching the perspective of the reference, right? Fill in the head here. At least make a circle for the head. That way you have something to track throughout the storyboard. One of the most important things is the head and the hands if you're trying to track this stuff. You seem to be tracking the hands pretty good. I don't feel like you got into character enough, right? You're kind of pretending to fall right here. The point is to do realistic references and try to embody the character, you know? Shiro, Romy, you did your own references right here. And, key poses, you're taking those shots. Scratch your face out. This looks like a horror movie. Yeah, we love Sonic. This is exactly how you're supposed to do it, right? Now you can flip through and check the key poses, and you can flip through and see if they work. You look terrifying. You are so creepy looking. This looks so cool. This is kind of what I was thinking about, right? This is a piece of art. This is a work of art right here. You could put this sucker up in an art gallery. I would straight up buy that, like the 3 frames of this and hang it vertically. Great line quality. Your legs look real good. This is actually really cool. This is one of my favorite pieces. We got C. Let's see what C been working on. Here's the reference. Okay, a man running for his life. And here's the final. Looking great. All right, perfect. All right, now I want to see you do this type of stuff, but attach it to a story, right? That's what I want you to see y'all doing, is attaching this stuff to your own stories, your own projects. That way you're pushed to learn more faster, right? You want to do more and more shots. That's the point of this. You're going to get better faster by doing that, to have that kind of, you know, bite you in the booty, get you moving, get you learning and squirming. All right, I'll see you all in the next one. I'll see you in class on Project City. Awesome stuff. Get some of your projects in mind for the next one, all right? And for me, the winner has to be Jet. Jet did such an amazing job of, like, this is a full-on animation project and some of the best references that I've seen, like going down these stairs, really getting into character, and just doing the assignment perfect. Look, that's fully in character. That's exactly what I want to see. You're not messing around. Great job, Jet. I'll see you in the next one, everybody.
Yeah, Jet badass.
Yeah, Jet is badass.
Is that a ripped knee?
Oh yeah, that's a ripped knee.
What happened?
That's how in character Jet is.
Damn.
I'm not talking.
They rip the knee. Getting better at
All right, guys. So that was Ethan Baker on the whole draw better, draw faster. He used a bunch of references. He gave a bunch of advice on what to focus on, what to look for, especially if you're animating or a case may be. I hope you guys learned something from him a little bit here. I learned a little bit with that tubing part. I have to use that in a future video. So with that said, like, share, comment. I hope you guys enjoy this. Thank you for watching, and I'll put his stuff into the descriptions if possible. All right, we're gonna go to, and thank you for watching, laters. But like, we're gonna go to our final segment, and then if we have time, we're gonna play video games. But we're not gonna play. We call it. What's the game? Repo. Oh, we're not gonna play Repo today. Today, Haste came out today, so we're gonna play a little Haste. But let's get these out of the way. So we're in our anime recommendation segment. So this is from Boogie. He has 43.3 subscribers here on YouTube, and he's going to recommend us. I'm buying so much manga in 2025. So he's gonna recommend this to us on what he has found. Maybe you might find a gem. Maybe it's something you heard before. Maybe there's an anime coming for it. We don't know. So we'll see what Boogie has to say. Actually, what's his name? Boogie Snacks. Boogie Snacks, sorry. His name is Boogie Snacks. I didn't see the other half of the name. So let's jump into it. If you like his commentary at all, or their commentary, or what the fuck, I will put their link into the description when this video comes out on the on my art channel. So we'll do everything art related. Anything art related will be on the art channel. Anything that's non-art related will be, oh no, not on the channel. It'll be on the reaction channel. It'll be on that one. That's the one all anime focus. So let's jump into it.
Here again, lads, with 20 new manga titles or 20 new releases that are coming out before the end of the year. Of course, to add to that ever-growing TBR list that I'm sure we're all making steady progress on, right? Right? Also, really quickly, we are on the journey to 50,000 subscribers, which is my current goal right now. And guys, we are closing in on it fast. If you haven't hit that like button down below, let's see if we can get to 1K likes this video. And then also, of course, if you're new around here, hit that subscribe button so you know when I upload. Okay, back to the video. Starting off strong, but it's a gentle reminder. I did a video just like this at the beginning of the year. And in that video, we covered Mushishi, the collector's edition, which is getting a reprint, which is...
I'm surprised that Mushishi never got like, or I think in the US things called Mushi Masters, but like, I'm surprised that Mushishi has not gotten like a reboot or anything like that. It's kind of surprising because this was, I wouldn't say it was popular, but it was on that gem-esque type anime where if you kind of ran into it, you ran into it. But not a lot of people bring it up at all because I think the voice actor who played the character from the anime was Wolf Mustang from My Hero, not My Hero, what do you call it? Full Metal Alchemist. Major Mustang.
So good. So I have a small but important update.
Roy Mustang.
And of course, price is king, and the update having to do with the price. The Mushishi's collector's editions will be $30 a pop, $29.99, and come out Volume 1 November. If you've never heard of Mushishi, quickly, it's a classic series. It actually started back in like 1999, going all the way into 2008. I found Mushishi through the anime, which became one of my odd cozy series. And I say odd as I typically don't gravitate towards episodic-esque series, which Mushishi kinda is.
Mushishi has the same energy of watching Hellgirl.
So in Mushishi, each chapter or volume follows our main character who happens to be a wandering specialist that deals with Mushi. Most of our story is our main character solving problems or mysteries with these Mushi, who are honestly done in such a great, mysterious, earthly way. But also every now and then we do get little flashbacks of our main character's past, which is really interesting. These stories can range from happy to tragic and everything in between, but the one consistent thread throughout all of them is the writing quality, and it truly is well done.
Yes, the writing is amazing. I will always vouch for that. If you ever never seen it, watch it. It's a great anime to watch. You can run through the season in one day. You can literally, it's like I think 20 episodes.
Also, by the way, let me know down below, what manga are you reading right now, and what are your reading goals for the rest of the year? Coming up second on the list, now I might butcher this name, but I have it here in my notes. Excuse me if I do mess it up, let me know down below in the comments. But we have Kaijin Fugi, Kindled Spirits, and this one looks incredible. This is from the same creator as Air Gear and the same artist from the Bakemonogatari.
Let's go! Air Gear, let's go.
Manga series. Already, we're headed towards a great direction. This is definitely a newer series by Kodansha, and it started summer of 2024. The story starts off with a fateful encounter. A boy from a rural town in Japan, his name is Jin, he meets Gao, a British soldier who was forced to flee his homeland by the night. The two spend their days with their friends in a quiet town surrounded by nature. Until one day, the night suddenly falls on them once again. But the twist here is that the night is a phenomena akin to natural disasters. And faced with those nights or natural disasters of pure destruction, children offer prayers by dancing to temporarily borrow the power of the gods to quell these nights' fury. This is set to release for fall of 2025, and definitely keep an eye out for this one. Number 3 on the list is going to be huge for a lot of...
TikTok is muted? Is it really? What the? Oh, let's go. Wait. I'm muted? Hold on. Is it really? Yeah, I think I am. Why is it muted? What the hell? Was it quiet the entire time? Why did it get to 0? What the hell? Let me see.
People, and we are getting the 25th anniversary 2-in-1 omnibuses for Nana. These will be paperback, $25, come out in September, and of course put out by Viz. You just know this is going to do so well, and especially with rumors that the author has expressed interest in returning to Nana. So for those of you that don't know, Nana has sort of been on like forever hiatus for quite a long time, and we did get some news, I believe, last year that there has been some interest into returning to the series, so that's just great. Junji Ito is back, and this man has such incredible work ethic. I've also talked to some folks at Viz who have met him. Apparently he's like a teddy bear, just so warm and gentle. You love to see it. Looks like he's going to be getting a collection of stories that will be hardcover, coming out in October and will be around $23. Titled Moan, a Junji Ito story collection. I personally know 2 readers that just adore Junji Ito. Pretty much buy everything that is released by him, whether it be like merch, clothing, and of course the manga releases. I think it's going to do well. You're going to see it in stores. It's going to sell. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. This isn't a priority for myself, but I know for a lot of us that do read manga and are into the weird horror sort of culture. And I say weird because everything I've read from Junji Ito more lies along those lines of like more weird, disturbing rather than just like horror or terrifying. But that's just my own personal opinion. He's awesome in his own right. Number 5, next, One Piece is getting some love, and one of my favorite side characters in One Piece is getting his time to shine, which is
Is it either Zoro?
Trafalgar Law. Yes, Viz is putting out One Piece Law.
Oh, snap! Yo, Traffy's getting his own manga? Oh, his own spin-off?
It's going to be a light novel, very much similar to Ace's light novel that you might see behind me right over here. Coming out in October, 10 to 11 bucks, and yes, like I mentioned before, it will be a light novel. This will be a spin-off covering the Hearts Pirates' younger adventures. It's going to be wild, action-packed, probably some comedy in there. Sign me up. Okay, so this next one is probably one of my most anticipated releases for the year. Let's talk about Made to Skate. This looks like such a fun
What the hell?
And also paying homage to that like 90s, early 2000s like skate culture sort of thing going on. Yeah, I'm picking this up day 1, like week 1. I will be in that bookstore trying to find a copy. This takes place in a world where maids also do their daily maid activities, but also they be hitting the half pipe, they're skating around, and there's going to be a bunch of skate culture within this story. Yeah. Dude, need I say more? It's just a lot.
It's moments like this makes me realize how much. It's moments like this that makes me realize how much anime is so diverse in storytelling, because you wouldn't put those two things together and think they'll work, but it's working.
Love letter to having fun, I think, and I think it's going to have comedic elements. You're probably going to learn a lot about skating as well. This one excites me, and there's a really cool story behind the team that makes this one. The artist for Made to Skate actually has a history of drawing maids skating on Twitter, got so known for it that they have a manga now, which is, yeah, dude, what a legend. Coming out in December, put out by Viz, and will be around 13 to 14 bucks a volume. Okay, let's talk about Kaiju number 8. It is getting a spin-off, and it looks quite charming, if I might say so myself. Titled Relax, it's going to be focusing on our main cast of characters, off-duty adventures filled with comedic elements, slice-of-life moments. I'm personally hoping for some cooking scenes in there, some cute, funny cooking scenes. It looks like it's going to be a fun time. Probably nothing too serious, of course, but a fun time nonetheless. Moving on to number 8, this is by the same artist that handled the Legend of Zelda stuff for Viz, the manga. Let's talk about an original fantasy story filled with dragons and all sorts of stuff called Kamudo. Now, in the world for this manga, under Peace of Demi-Dragons, this world has prospered and flourished until the prophecy predicts the dawn of a new, uncertain era. Will the birth of a Kamuna, the first human child, bring destruction or an era of hope and change? High fantasy, great art direction, mystery, action, and I personally love the trope of like the whole prophecy thing happening, so yeah, this looks incredible and it's definitely on my radar, and I know the art's gonna look fantastic in this one. Moving on to number 9, Delicious in Dungeon is getting a complete world guide. This will be around $18 and released towards the end of the year. This will be an updated version to the one that's previously out if you already own that one. This one will cover the story in its entirety. Okay, hold on. Let me tell you the title on this one because it's a lot. It is. I'm looking at my notes right now. Delicious in Dungeon World Guide: The Adventurer's Bible Complete Edition. Oh my God! It will have 70 pages of brand new comics, complete character info guide, a secret menu guide, and it will cover the entirety of the story, unlike the last one, which I believe only covered up to like volume 11. Also, like I mentioned before, it will run for about 18 bucks. I think this will make a great Christmas present for the Delicious in Dungeon mega fan in your friend circle or in your family. This is something that I personally want for my own collection. Moving on to number 10.
Ollie the Chonklord said, yo, no way, I watched Boogie Snacks
Now, Raycon
too.
is giving
I just realized I'm mute again. So yeah, that's what we do every Tuesday. We do reactions on like manga recommendations,
Kofi
anime
Streambot said, visit
reviews.
Artextric's Kofi
and-
page at.
God damn it, Kofi. And then we also do like reactions of art stuff. So we just did our art segment. Now we're doing our anime
What
recommendations
Rick's
or
official
manga
said, be a support
recommendations.
hero today. By using commands
Why do you
like
do this, bot? Every
support.
time.
giving the Boogie Snacks community a discount 20%. Father one day become under Allmark. War in the northern lands where war continues without end, our young main character Allmark hopes to become a mercenary like his father one day. However, the young lad is a timid, shy boy, and his father thinks that maybe this is not really the line of work for him. Rather, one all the way at the Nork Magical Academy in a peaceful southern region. So, once the lad is old enough to attend, his father eventually sends him there. As time progresses, Allmark, our main character of the series called Allmark, eventually sort of not really abandons his dreams of becoming a mercenary, but sort of just agrees to his father's wishes and does go to the Magical Academy. But what ensues next is where the story starts. And just that description alone, yes, this, oh my God, first of all, it looks amazing, so promising. Oh, the description hooked me. I can't wait for this one. Allmark, put out by Yen Press, comes out in July. Oh, I think I'm gonna buy it for my birthday and just sit out on the balcony my birthday morning and just read it with a cup of coffee. That sounds like the plan. All right, moving on to number 11. This is one I'm personally excited for. It's not a new series, but something big like this should be mentioned. Is it wrong to pick up Girls in a Dungeon is getting a collector's edition hardcover, and it looks amazing. I personally am a big fan of Don Machi. I'll say it. Yen Press comes out in July, and it's gonna be $151. I said it was going to be nice. It's going to have the first 10 volumes of the light novel series, which I actually own all of the light novels that are out currently right now, but I own them digitally. So this might be a good opportunity to pick up the first 10, but 151 bucks, 151. There's a Pokemon reference there somewhere. That's a ton of money up front for something like this, and much like it reminds me of, rather, the Spice and Wolf, that one, those really nice editions that are out. I don't know how many of them there'll be in circulation at first, and it might be kind of hard to get your hand on this one. This might be something to pre-order. So I'm gonna have to make a decision whether I want to spend the 151 up front, maybe try to find the rest of the light novels like secondhand used for a deal. We'll see, but check this one out. Just look at this thing. Silver foil embossed, a perfect blue ribbon that looks quality as well. Hardcover with silver printed edges. I mean, the works. They definitely put some time and love into this release. Moving on to number 12, A Little Miss Vampire Can't Suck Right. You heard me. Put out by Empress, coming out in July, and will be around 13 bucks.
Excuse me? Excuse me? What? Wait, what? Excuse me? What?
Main character is a dark and mysterious vampire. Kinda? Her classmate recognizes this and attempts to help her learn to feed and become more of the creature of the night that we all expect to be. What a vampire is, basically. I have a feeling this is going to be one of those light-hearted, cute, maybe some romance, some very funny
Ryu the
moments.
Samurai said, "Hey, yo,
It's
lol."
going to scratch that itch for me
Hey,
for a
yo.
vampire story, and I love me a good vampire story, and sometimes these lighthearted ones, I'm thinking like Call of the Night as well, they just scratch that certain inch where it's not too serious of a vampire story. I like it, I'm gonna read it, looks good. Welcome to Rapid Fire Anthologies with Boogie Snacks. Licorious Recoil, the official comic anthology titled React. And number 14, Abochi the Rock is getting a comic anthology as well. Both of these put out by Yen Press and scheduled to come out between summer and the end of the year here in 2025. Okay, so number 15 looks, I'm gonna go into it with an open mind, and it looks kind of cool. A misanthrope teaches a class for demi-humans, the manga. This is based off of the original light novel series. Put out by Yen Press, 13 bucks on release and scheduled to come out July, August, sometime in the summer. This unexpectedly caught my eye. It looks good. We're gonna talk about it in just a second, but like I mentioned before, it is based off of a light novel series, and if you're like me, I read light novels, okay? I'm not like the biggest light novel reader, but I do enjoy light novels. So personally, I'm going to check out the manga volume 1. I might even just read it in the bookstore, and then if I like it, I'm just gonna go ahead and just grab the first volume of the light novel off the shelf instead of the manga. But to each their own. I know some of you guys don't read light novels, you guys wanna focus on the manga, totally okay. In the story, our main character is a former school teacher dealing with a lot of past trauma. Hoping for a slower life, our main character moves into the mountains to get away from everything and takes a new gig teaching at what he finds out to be is an all-girls school for demi-humans that all want to become human. Yeah, now at face value, that's probably what the story is going to be.
Oh wow, that's new. That's a little new. Never heard something like that before. And it's just a small change to a just pretty mediocre premise. That kind of changes the whole formula to a degree. They're trying to be humans. They're learning to be humans or wanting to be humans. That's different.
To be probably this teacher creating bonds with his students and probably getting through his own trauma and helping the students with theirs. And this is what's leading me to believe this series is probably a lot more than meets the eye. It's going to go a lot deeper than that. Now, I'm going to rapid fire a few noteworthy series that I don't think we need to do a full dive on, but I want to note here in the video. Next,
yeah, kind of like that.
Is Super String, Marco Polo's Travel to the Multiverse. Next is Naruto Shippuden's The Official Cookbook. Then The Art of Rumiko Takahashi's Colors, 1978 to 2024. I'm very curious about that one. Next is Hell's Paradise, the complete box set release. That's really cool, and if you would have asked me a few months ago that Hell's Paradise would be getting a box set, I would have completely caught me off guard, but it's cool to see. And last but not least is Shiba Inu Rooms. This one looks absolutely adorable. More info on this one later, but all of these are slated to come out near the end of 2025. Food for thought. And our last release of the video. This one just got announced. I can't believe it, but Parasite is getting paperback releases in 2025. Can you believe that? Kodansha just announced that Parasite is going to be getting those paperback releases for the first time in over a decade. This looks amazing. These new paperback editions will feature the original black and white art, but that has been restored, as well as an updated translation. This might just be the thing that gets me to collect Parasite, okay? Those paperback releases. Typically, I've been okay with watching the anime, which I've seen like 2 or 3 times. If you haven't checked it out, please do. But man, these paperbacks look great, so props to Kodansha for doing this. What a way to end this video, and if you made it this far, make sure that you've liked the video down below. It really does help support the channel, and that you hit that subscribe button so you know when I upload next. Also, if you made it here to the end, I want to say thank you to all the Patreon members and the YouTube members that have been supporting this channel. We do have some exclusive vlogs that are up there, and of course the podcast with Michelle and I will be going live very, very soon as of the time of recording this video. If you haven't checked it out, of course, links for everything will be down below in the description box, and thank you once again to Raycon for sponsoring today's video. I hope you guys got 1, 2, or 3 recommendations down below. This has been a curated list of things that genuinely excite me, and that a ton of these I will be picking up very, very soon once they come out. And honestly, That's the beautiful thing about this video, is that none of these are happening in 2026. These are things you can look forward to when we're already like a good part through the year, which is crazy. 2025 is flying by. So these are things you can get excited for and pick up relatively soon. I mean, within a few months, right? Anyways, I gotta get into this video. The next upload should be a vlog. Maybe. We'll see. Either way, I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye!
Yeah, the money must be good. He seems really happy doing what he's doing. All right, so with that said, like, subscribe, share, and comment. I hope you guys like Boogie Snacks. I'll put his stuff in the description. So if you like what he said, or in case may be, or you're a fan of his, you can check his stuff out in this video. So we're gonna go to the next one. Thank you. Like, subscribe, share, and follow it, and I'll see you guys next one. Okay, I'm gonna save this one. Well, this is way too long. 55 minutes. No. Okay, so. Let me see. Yeah, right? Alright, so this is from the Prom G. I think I did a video of him way back when. I don't remember when, but I remember seeing his face before. So it says, my top 5 most exciting manga releases of 2025. Now, some of them may be something you heard already. Some of them you probably heard of previous video from another YouTuber. Or probably they might bring up something that is so far off the spectrum you might enjoy it. Just like that Made Skates thing. I never even saw that before till today. So let's go.
Officially in full swing, and if you're anything like me, you're already looking at your calendar, marking down the days where you can add some amazing new releases to your manga collection. You know, in 2024, some of my other hobbies kind of took precedent, whether it be video game collecting or Blu-ray collecting, but this year I'm fully locked back into manga, and I have
people still use Blu-ray to this day still?
A list of the stuff I'm most excited to pick up for you guys in today's video. Now, before we get into my top 5 list, I want to give a quick disclaimer that I actually have not read any of these series yet, so this isn't necessarily a recommendation video, but I will be giving some plot synopsis, and I will be giving some reasons as to why I'm personally excited for these releases, so take this list with a grain of salt if you're looking for recommendations. Don't come crying to me if one of these is a massive stinker, because I haven't read them yet. But go down to the comment section below and leave me a comment telling me your most anticipated manga, or even your top 5 or 10 anticipated manga for 2025. I guarantee there will be some on your list that are not on mine, but I'll save the surprises for later. But with all that being said, I just want to say thank you for joining me today on the channel for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more manga videos just like this. But without any further ado, let's get into my top anticipated manga releases of 2025. Now, my entire top 5 list is comprised of series that are getting their very first English volume in print in 2025. But real quick before that, I want to give kind of an honorable mention to 2 ongoing series that are finally getting new volumes after so long. The first one obviously being Berserk, which is getting its 42nd volume this year. I don't remember the exact release date. I'll put it somewhere on screen for both these volumes. But yeah, Berserk, obviously, it's been forever since we got the 41st volume, several years, obviously with the tragic passing of Kentaro Miura. The future of the series was kind of up in the air, but I think as far as it goes now, we are going to be getting more volumes as some other people continue on the series that know his vision. So I'm super excited for this. The cover looks amazing. The second super excited volume that's coming out this year is Vinland Saga hardcover number 14. I can't even remember when 13 came out. I believe it was also years ago, and it's been just so long since I picked up a new volume or even read this series. But moving on to the actual top 5 list, coming in at the number 5 spot, we have a brand new manga from a sci-fi legend, Tsutomu Nihei, that is going to be Tower Dungeon. Now, the interesting thing about this new manga is, like I said, Tsutomu Nihei is a sci-fi legend, as most of his series, especially his critically acclaimed ones like Blam, Knights of Sidonia, Biomega, the list goes on, are sci-fi manga. But Tower Dungeon is a step in a new direction, as this is going to be a fantasy manga that's actually serializing in a shonen magazine since 2023. From my knowledge, the series is basically about this evil sorcerer who kills the king of this land and kidnaps the princess and takes her into this big monolith, this tower, if you will. So they send this rescue squad into the tower to try and save the princess. But like I said, this is a fantasy series, so of course there are going to be some insane looking fantasy mythical beasts and monsters that are roaming around this tower that this rescue squad has to traverse. So if you know me, you'll know why this series is so anticipated for me. I love Tsutomu Nihei, the series that I've read from him, and of course getting a new manga from him.
I think the word he was looking for is traverse, but okay.
Is super exciting. And like I just said, this manga is going to be of the fantasy genre, which is unlike anything I've read from Tsutomu Nihei to date. So that's another reason why I'm super excited for this one. Now coming in at the number 4 spot is going to be a little bit of a controversial one, but you guys should also fully understand why I'm excited for it. That is going to be Volume 1 of Mujina Into the Deep, the newest manga by Inyo Asano. Similar to the manga at the number 5 spot, we have a brand new series from an absolute legend. Obviously, Inyo Asano, the mangaka behind works like Goodnight Pun Pun, Dead Dead Demons, my absolute favorite, some other series. And now that I think about it, this is actually similar to the number 5 spot in multiple ways, as Inyo Asano is taking this series in a new direction with his first ever action manga. Now, like I said in the beginning of this video, I have not read any of these series, but I have seen some of the manga art for this one based on the first couple chapters. And man, I gotta tell you, for a guy who doesn't typically draw a lot of action in his manga, the choreography and the flow of these fight scenes looks amazing. I mean, there's some panels I'll put up on screen of like sword strikes that look super fluid and cinematic. So just taking these panels at face value, it looks like for the most part, this series is going to be a greatly drawn action manga, but I want to say that I am a little bit cautious with this one because I've seen some people online say that they're just having a hard time getting into it, or that this is even one of his worst manga he's ever made. In particular, I watched a video from Uchu Shelf who said this was actually his second worst manga read of 2024, so that doesn't exactly inspire a lot of confidence in me. But maybe it's just my childlike mind that seems to have a larger capacity for being entertained by stupid shit like Gigant. A lot of people don't like, but absolutely love. So I'm not writing this one off just yet, but just the fact that we're getting a new manga from Asano is reason enough to put this at the number 4 spot of my most anticipated 2025 manga. Coming in at the number 3 spot, we have a manga that was the basis for one of the most popular and celebrated manga-based movies of all time. We have the first omnibus of Ichi the Killer coming out in 2025. Now this is going to be a super hot take, but I'm actually not the biggest fan of the Ichi the Killer movie. It was a little bit abstract for my taste, though there is a lot that I really liked about it, especially the grotesque gore and some of the hilarious action. But Ichi the Killer basically follows 2 main characters. We have obviously Ichi, who is this cowardly guy who kind of dresses up like a Kamen Rider without the helmet, and he is like I said, a huge wimp. But when he starts crying, like he gets emotional, he becomes a badass martial arts killing machine. He has like this blade in his shoe that he just butchers people with. And then the other character, I believe his name is Kakihara or something like that. He is this Yakuza enforcer who is badly scarred, probably the character you're more familiar with seeing if you haven't read or watched the movie. And similar to Ichi, he is just a brutal killer, also a sadist who inflicts a lot of pain on himself as he does with others. And when his boss gets brutally murdered by this Ichi character, their paths intertwine and these 2 unlikely characters become very involved with each other. It's a very interesting story to say the least, at least what I've seen based off of the movie, but that's why I'm really excited to get into this manga, because like I said, I wasn't a huge fan of the movie, but I want to see if the source material is perhaps even better and it'll really resonate with me more. Now coming in at the number 2 spot is a manga that I believe already released, but I think it came out in 2025, so I'm putting it on the list regardless because I'm so excited to finally pick this one up. That is going to be Ultra Heaven from Last Gasp. This manga takes place in this sort of futuristic dystopian society where drugs have taken over everybody because they are legalized with the exception of a few illegal drugs, but everybody is dependent on drugs as they can make you feel basically any emotion out there. And the manga follows a main character who has taken every drug that is out there and has subsequently become bored of taking these drugs until he catches wind of this drug similar to our real world DMT that can take your mind to like a higher plane of existence and understanding. Now, I have not read this manga, but I have seen a lot of the artwork, and as you can probably guess, for a manga that's basically about getting high, tripping on drugs, and going to an entire higher plane of existence, the manga artwork is absolutely stunning and so trippy. From the people who actually have read this manga that I've heard from, they say it's almost like having a psychedelic experience while being completely sober. I mean, I can't even imagine what looking at some of this psychedelic trippy artwork would be like when you're actually tripping on psychedelics, and I don't think I want to know what that experience is like either. But yeah, like I said, this manga is coming from the publisher Last Gasp. I'm most familiar with them from their Barefoot Gen hardcovers, and they've also done some other stuff from this manga, such as I believe there's one called Heaven's Door that's also heavily psychedelic. So I've heard so much about this one that's honestly kind of surprising. I haven't picked it up as of making this video since it's already out, but I'm putting it on the list regardless. This is one I've looked forward to reading for so long, and the time is finally here. And finally, coming in at the #1 spot, my most anticipated manga I'm going to pick up in 2025. For a lot of you guys, it's going to be a pretty obvious and relatable one. For others, you're going to be very surprised and disappointed. It's not JoJo's Steel Ball Run, but the manga at my #1 spot is, of course, Shinichi Sakamoto's The Climber. Shinichi Sakamoto is one of those mangaka that has been proclaimed as one of the goats.
Oh yeah, I remember we did a video on that one.
They've been making manga, really, with their series like Innocent and, of course, The Climber, among others, but has only recently gotten their series put out physically in English print. And The Climber is a series that has been at the top of every manga fan's like holy grail series that they want to come out physically in English, and we're finally getting this series from Viz in their Viz signature editions. Now, if you couldn't put 2 and 2 together and guess based off the title, this manga is about climbing. It's about this main character who starts off, I believe, like high school club, learning to solo climb, and eventually becomes like a world-class mountain climber. And of course, climbing is a metaphor for, you know, his uphill battle struggles with things like loneliness and depression. So we have this psychological manga from one of the greatest of all time that's also a sports manga. Okay, I'm interested. What else could possibly get me hooked on reading this series? Have you guys seen the artwork? It would not be an understatement to say that this is probably one of the most beautifully drawn manga of all time. Of course, I'll put up some panels on the screen for you to look at. Some of these are even more infamous than the manga itself. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen them, even if you have not read The Climber. So yeah, if for some reason The Climber was not on your radar of releases for this year or manga to read in general, it better be now, because if your taste is anything like mine, this has everything you could possibly want in an amazing manga series. So yeah, The Climber takes the #1 spot. Sorry, JoJo's, I haven't read the rest of that series, so the spot goes to The Climber. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for my top 5 list of my most anticipated manga to pick up in 2025. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Of course, make sure to go down in the comments below, leave me a comment telling me your top 5 anticipated list or your top 1 that you're excited to pick up in 2025. Again, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more manga videos just like this. So yeah, this has been the Prom G. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and as always, hope to catch you in the next one.
Okay, so that was the Prime G on the whole 5 most exciting manga releases 2025. That's his recommendations. If you guys enjoy this, give him a follow and all that great stuff. Link in the description and all that great stuff. And we'll go into our last one. Let's go. Thank you. So I saved the best for last. I always like Sufferance's work. Can never take his videos too seriously whenever I watch them, but it is what it is. So this is Sufferance. This is the best new manga recommendations ever. And then after we're done watching this, we're going to go play Haste. So with that said, let's jump into it.
All of you. I've never heard about this. I've seen some pictures, funny enough, but never got a chance to read it. So I've seen a bunch of comments being like, hey, you should read After God. It's really cool. It's really pretty. Sold. And I do read the comments, and I have a list that you guys have been recommending me. So just know that. Admittedly, I'm not fully caught up with After God, but I've read a good handful of 12 chapters and I really like it. But I can't put my thumb on where exactly I've read a story like this before, both artistically but narratively. And I was like trying to go into the back of my brain and think about all the stories I've read, and I just couldn't figure it out. So maybe you can help me. What is After God kind of similar to? The story is about the emergence of gods. One day this event happens where all of these gods start to spawn and pretty much annihilate the majority of Japan. They created these zones that are sealed off from the city where the gods operate and humans are not allowed. Some of these gods are claimed to be just horrifying creatures, abominations from the depths of the abyss. Others are more humanoid and more conniving and sneaky. There's no real right or wrong answer on what this
I'm not sure if we did this video.
God is going to be depicted as. Humans live alongside these gods to a certain extent, but these zones that are sealed off are like this alluring barrier for people. Streamers, YouTubers, children in general, just trying to find out what this god is, being curious and getting killed in the process, turned to water. No one really knows what these gods look like or how they operate or what their purpose is until you meet the two main characters. So our first guy is a researcher for these gods, and he has a bit of quirk to him, but he knows a lot about gods. He knows he wants to research them and he wants to evidently take them down. The other main character we meet is this young girl on the border of this exclusion zone, and at first our main guy thinks that she's trying to die. It's very common for people to lock eyes with the gods and get entranced and end up luring them into the zone and killed by that god. But that's not actually the case here. It turns out this girl is somewhat of a
We've seen this one.
We seen this one? Okay. Unless we did we?
Enjoy it. This is a manga called Bless. It might be my favorite manga I've read in a very long
this guy
time.
with the makeup. Yeah, we've seen this one. Let me see if he has anything. Yeah, we've seen this. We have seen this. I do actually remember that. Weirdest steampunk manga. 11 days ago. This is 11 days ago. Let's go with this one.
The Martial King.
So we're gonna go with this. I'm gonna restart this one. So this is from Sufferance. This is called the weirdest new steampunk manga ever. If you like his stuff, I'll put his stuff at the bottom. Link in the description if you enjoy this. So let's jump into it. He says this is the weirdest new steampunk manga he ever read. So let's go.
I've been excited to talk about this story. It's new, it's refreshing, it's interesting, it's got some weird and wacky combination of ideas and splitting of genres, but then it also has pedigree behind it. A long-running talent in this industry that arguably has some of the best artwork. You know this person, and this is their brand new story. Does the name Boichi ring a bell?
Yes.
If it does, great news, because you're going to hear a lot about him. If it doesn't, let me tell you. Boichi is considered one of the best artists in the industry, alongside a plethora of others, but for good reason. He has a very distinct style for ultra-realism. His anatomy work, his detail, his science or technological work is so sophisticated and specific and highly detailed that it's almost impossible to compete with him. This is a person that has a long-running list of stories, both as an author and artist. Almost 30 plus different manga he has worked on, and around about 10 different manhwa from his earlier days. See, Boichi is a Korean manhwa artist turned professional manga artist. It's very difficult to find what some of his earlier works look like, but if I can, I will show you. This is where his art is relatively simplified, pretty standard, but still nice to look at. Over the years, however, he would hone his craft, something he is meticulous at doing. One scroll through Twitter and you will see how much he is constantly pushing his understanding and knowledge towards any subject he finds interesting, the idea of Martial King included. Fun fact about Boichi, since his childhood, he has always wanted to be a manga artist. So from his earliest days, he would constantly draw and even attended a technical college or school for science and technology, not to learn anything or to pursue a career in that subsection, but to learn how to draw the stuff that he wants to such a technical level. That is super commitment. Over the 30 odd manga that he's worked on, you can really see his style evolve and mellow out and change depending on not only the type of story that he's working on.
Here's the clips. Go with these clips. Wait, see this one? Here he goes with these clips.
But also the amount of time that he gets to work on it. A lot of you might know his most popular work, the one that arguably put him on the map, Sunken Rock. This is peak anatomy, albeit exaggerated in certain departments purposefully. The design philosophy surrounding Sunken Rock is gorgeous. Artistically, it is a fantastic story. Narratively, I wouldn't say it's his strongest work, but it's interesting, it's engaging, and it really put him on the radar. I would say this is what made people aware of his style of characters, this level of realism and ultra high fidelity and detail to the specifics of anatomy. What people didn't really know yet is that he can take this a step further, so you're kind of limited to body anatomy. Where you aren't is technology and science. So this is a story called Origin. It came out a couple of years after Sunken Rock, and this is mixing that high level of anatomy knowledge with such a unique and creative twist for science and technology, merging the two together, a cyborg or an android. I would say that there's not many authors that could pull this off successfully, and even less authors that could pull this off on a weekly, bi-weekly, monthly schedule. Even thinking about drawing this as a regular thing sounds like a nightmare. But if you were to take one thing away from this in regards to Boichi, the man works hard. He is a definitive hard worker. His most mainstream, most successful, probably his most popular work on a global scale is Dr. Stone. He paired up with an incredible author and they managed to create a super unique story. Different for Boichi artistically, as you can tell that he has changed his style to reach a weekly format schedule. A lot of his stories tend to be monthly because of the level of detail that he is producing. So seeing this style kind of morph this way was a unique thing. While the story of Dr. Stone is nowhere near the park of what Boichi's known for, he still very much made it his own, taking all of the elements of this story that has barely any technology at the beginning that slowly increases over time, and mashing those things together with less anatomy detail. It worked wonderfully. You mix that with a compelling story, and you have the keys to success. And lastly, another one I should point out is the One Piece novel that he done. So he was the artist for One Piece Episode A, I believe, which is the Ace novels, and just artistically, obviously gorgeous, beautiful depictions of these characters. And while it's definitely not One Piece, that was never the point. He was chosen for a reason to draw this in a very beautiful and heartbreaking way, and Ace's character and everyone else looks phenomenal. I like Boichi. I think he has a lot of charisma, a lot of energy, a lot of style and substance that he can give artistically. He's really creative with his ideas. The only problem that I have personally with his works is when he writes them. I say this with the utmost respect to him, but his works are very standard. They're nowhere near the intricacies of his artwork, and that can be perfectly okay. Some works are definitely better than others. They feel more well-rounded and researched and understood. But a lot of the times he falls into a very common trope where he over-explains and over-details things and really holds your hand as a reader. And I've never really understood on if he does this purposefully as kind of a gimmick for all of his stories, or if this is just the inexperience of the writing that he has. While it can be frustrating to read a story that constantly iterates everything to you,
if they get turned into
like you are a child, it's not the worst thing. There can be much, much bigger issues at play. Honestly, what really helps is his artwork. It's so beautiful to look at that you're kind of just there for the experience and the vibes. This takes me to his brand new steampunk western manga called The Martial King. I like the idea of the Martial King, taking the technical aspect of sci-fi and technology and this hidden mystery surrounding it, joining it with a western, cowboys, outlaws, primeval type beat. Absolutely fantastic. It's an odd combination, but it works really, really well. An interesting thing is that his style for the Martial King is an evolution of Dr. Stone. So it is a weekly story, but it seems like he's able to take breaks more often. Sometimes bi-weekly, you might get 2 chapters and a 2-week break. It is consistently releasing. I'm just not sure on the schedule so far. It might just be a bi-weekly manga, but still impressively drawn. Not the high level detail of Sun Can Rock or Origin, but definitely a more evolved version from Dr. Stone. This is his playground. Beautifully drawn guns and characters and sci-fi elements that just mix all of the best of his artistry together. Narratively, it does 2 things. One, it provides this sense of, wow, I've never read anything like this before. It's really interesting. But the other is, wow, he really feels the need to explain every single aspect to me. Again, this is the weakest link for Boichi, but when it comes to his other works that follow a similar line, he does tend to pick up motion after the introduction. When he's not explaining stuff, when he's getting into action, when he's allowing the story to kind of flow and roll naturally, it operates smoothly. And I think the Martial King will have that past its opening. It's just jumping and getting through all the hurdles currently. And when you have a concept that comes across relatively unique, you might lean a bit too heavily into over-explaining, so it might take a little bit longer. Do not let this worry you though. The Martial King is a fun read so far, and it channels a lot of shonen energy. And you're probably thinking, shonen, cowboys, guns, steampunk, like what does that even look like? The Martial King is about a young guy called Jimmy Godspeed. And the thing about Jim is he is related to one of the most famous outlaws.
Well, yeah, true.
This country has ever seen.
Sabruski.
Turns out that outlaw is dead. And whatever rumored relationship that old Jimbo has with this person has now put him on a bit of a radar, both good and bad. You see, Jimmy also wants to be a marshal. He wants to wipe out the era of desperados and outlaws and to kind of reign in the Wild West. And a way that he does this is by joining a martial school. What is their weaponry, you ask? Well, of course, guns, pistols, old revolvers, the typical Western armory that you would expect. The difference is that it is shonified, so it's very over the top. This person might be able to shoot 5 or 6 bullets in 1 second. This person might have pinpoint accuracy from like 100 miles away or something. Very over the top, very playful. But this is where the steampunk elements come in. See, underneath a lot of these places and big crevices is this lost technological science facilities, and no one really knows what it is. Perhaps it's a lost city of a bygone era. What we do understand is that within here are certain super magnums. There are these massive magnum revolvers that are like god tier weapons, but not just anybody can wield them. If the general public were to wield them, it would obliterate them. Supposedly, there is a couple of them, and old Jimbo wants to wield one of these super magnums. But
so wait, isn't that like that gun that Yahtzee was trying to use against Remy in Black Lagoon, and he said the gun is so powerful it can blow your arm off by shooting it, but she shot him anyway. Before he finished talking, he was talking too damn much, so she shot him.
The only way that he can do it is by attaching these mechanical robotic arms, and they are the coolest, edgiest.
Not gonna lie, Mike was kind of right on that. That one synopsis kind of sounds like Trigun.
Craziest looking steampunk western thing that you could get, with him wielding a crazy big gun. If this does not sound like it's up your alley, if it doesn't sound interesting, that's perfectly fine. Don't worry about it. It's not for you. But if by any means any of this has sounded exciting, you will love this story. While a bit rough around the edges narratively, I do think it will smooth out over time, and it truly does have a ton to offer. I think it's fun, and realistically, that's all that matters, right?
I cleaned it too. Okay. Alright, so that was the end of Suffer. Hey,
King.
stop it.
So
that was the end of that. So we're gonna hold off for next Tuesday. So with that said, like, share, comment, who you guys enjoyed this with today's reactionary videos. Since I'm finally back, we're gonna be doing more of that next week. So I'm gonna stop from here. I'll assume this drawing anytime soon later. But we're going to go and play some Haste. The game came out today. I've been waiting to play this game for the longest while, so we're going to play that today. So, thank you guys for coming in. We're going to play Haste, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Like I said again, if you like Sufferance and his commentary and stuff, and his memes that he pops up that's just so damn distracting you can't take seriously, link in the bottom when I have this video out and ready to go. I might edit them, not sure, or I just might repost them. We'll see. So with that said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. I'm going to get everything set up so we can play some Haste. So I'll be right back. Bye-bye, guys. Be right back.